Hello. Hello. Dan. I don't think you're coming through on the audio. No.
Wah, wah.
Hold. Right, hang on. Is that better? That's better. Hi, world. Hello. I'm hoping I can be heard now. Hello. Hi, I am DM Dan. That's better. That's much better. Welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere's Tales from Elsewhere End of Year Festive Special. Hello. I'm DM Dan. You are our beautiful and adoring audiences, and I am joined by 4 even more beautiful and adoring players here. Look at them, little angels. So, hello, Nate.
Hello.
Hello, Georgia. Hello, Livy.
Hello.
Hello, Dan.
Right.
Hello. We are here to play some Daggerheart. It's actually, like, looking back on it, it's actually been quite, we've been playing Daggerheart for quite a long time, and you know, it's been kind of fun. We've done quite a lot. We've told like a lot of stories. I mean, that's the whole point of Tales, really. So it's a bit awkward to say, but I know this is like the Christmas special and like everyone's kind of expecting something, but I'll be honest, like with the end of campaign 2 recently, it's actually been quite hard to find some time to prep and things. So little PSA, I don't really have anything very specifically planned, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure we can just wing it.
I mean, Dan, I've got something. If you want me to take over for this stream, I can take over as GM.
I don't really think that's the angle I was going for, actually, Nate.
I mean, you should let other people like you let Matt do like a Warhammer one. Like I did one last year. I could do another one.
Okay, but I don't know if you've noticed, but it says DM Dan here. It doesn't say DM Nate in your box, does it?
You're not DMing, you're GMing. So
I think you're being a bit out of line here, Nate. To be honest.
No, I'm just offering.
Like,
but if you're going to be hostile about it,
like,
then...
I know it's supposed to be the season of sharing and giving, but I don't feel particularly sharing or giving right now.
I just think you should.
You know what, Nate? You know what? We're just going to go to the intro, and then while we're off air, we're just going to have it out, all right?
All right.
Unbelievable. All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya, the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livy. I'm going to be playing Rayri, the Sprite Ranger.
I'm Georgia, and I will be playing Alfric Stormhorn, a Dragon Scent Bard.
Hi, I'm DM Dan, and I'll be playing Gembrick, a Goblin Druid.
And my name is Nate, and I'll be the games master for this adventure.
The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere.
Make it Mr. Blob.
Happy Christmas, everybody! Happy holidays! I'm having a night off.
Yay!
It's a Christmas miracle.
Dan can only have one night off a year, and that is Christmas.
So yes, as is Christmas tradition, I am going to take over a game for the channel today.
Hey.
We're gonna make it Daggerheart, and we're gonna do it live.
DM Nate.
So let me have a little drinky. And we will make a start. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they do a stat book for Mr. Blobby? Or
No, Mr. Blobby this time. He's not in Daggerheart yet.
Yet.
yeah.
Yet.
Let us start in where we started a little bit, most of the same adventures where we start in Avonmore. Before the eschaton, before the war, round about this time of year where the winters got darker and colder with snow, people of elsewhere would find ways to weigh out the stormy weather and the blistering storms with festive joy of the season, where they would celebrate the triumphs of a great harvest. They would share the love with their families and their friends, and any other celebrations that they feel were necessary for that time of year. Since the war and since the eschaton, and since there has been a small slice of solace and peace to the people of elsewhere, as explorers started their initiative of finding new lands, new parts, lost people, there's been very little time for sort of rest and relaxation, and for celebrating the elsewhere that now is at the moment. About 16 months ago, there was a time where the snow was particularly harsh, the nights were particularly dark, and explorers were finding it difficult to find lost people. On one very night, where it seemed like they were in their darkest moments, the moon grew large and shone brightly blue upon the earth. Since then, many of the people of elsewhere weren't quite sure what this phenomenon was. Was it a gift from one of the dragons? Was it a gift from one of the new earth spirits that they've been hearing quite a bit about? They're not completely sure. But this time of year, as again, days have grown shorter, nights have grown longer, and the world has become quite cold, they've decided to make this into a sort of festival, in a way, to bring a little bit of joy and to celebrate what has come so far since the war. So currently in Avonmore, you see lanterns, like much more lanterns than usually are being hung up, candles everywhere. There is sort of evergreen forestry sort of being put up on doors and windows. You can see like bakeries filled with just like amazing smelling goods. People are really making an effort to just be really nice to one another, waving to each other, saying hello. And there's a really good vibe in the air, despite how cold it is, despite the snow on the ground. There seems to be an amazing sort of feeling in the air, sort of like of camaraderie and of well wishes to everyone. The three of you find yourself in the usual place where you find your and when I say the three of you, I mean obviously Rayri, Vanya, and Alfrek. You find yourself in the usual place where you see the board for Explorer, sort of for things that you might be able to find a quick adventure, some money to gain as an explorer. You have heard from Azakar this time. He has told you where he's gone. He hasn't disappeared again. He's not a particularly big fan of the cold, and so he's gone off to look for warmer climates. Cal has also is not also with you, but he has told you that he has things that he feels like he needs to do himself. And Alfrek, probably because you've spent the most time with him, you've notice that there's quite a bit of almost sadness in his eyes when he talks about that. But you don't question, and he says he will join you. Alfric, your parents have very nicely mentioned that they're going to hold a great feast the next day, and that your friends are welcome to join. So you've still got a day. It's the morning. You've not got a lot to do, and you decide to check the Explorer board to see if there's anything that you can do to sort of gain a little bit of extra money. There's not a lot on there. It seems either like sort of, asking for adventurers and asking for explorers is not actually happening at the moment. Like, people are sort of calming down, or just nothing's happening at the moment. Or there may be other explorers just snapping them all up. Also trying to make a little bit more of extra money to sort of get them through this festive period. Aside from one small note, and Rayri, you see this probably because it's at your height level, like right at the bottom of this board. You see this note, and it says, in normal sort of like scroll that you usually see from a lot of them, it says, help required in New Richwood. But then underneath that, in sort of like a childish scroll, says, please help me, we need help. And Rayri, as you pick this up and you take it from the board and you sort of show the others, and you sort of kind of agree, well, let's take a look into this. There's nothing else on the board. You hear someone also probably looking at the board, and you turn around and you see a rather scruffy looking goblin with a sort of brown beard scattered with sort of grey like streaks in it. And what's even more interesting is one of his hands, or one of his arms, is just a massive boulder shaped into a hand. Genbrick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, we've got some slim pickings here. Hoy! And Genbrick will look to the three of you, size you up, and then give you this very kind of placated smile, like a little bit of a dozy smile. Oh, don't mind me. If you were here first, then you get the run of the mill with these jobs here.
Well, we've lost a couple of people. I've seen you around there, but I've never been on an adventure with you before. I think this is probably the good time of year as well that we should, share. So maybe why don't you come along with us?
Oh, well, I can't say I've ever been on an adventure with other explorers, but yeah, that sounds my name, the name my mama gave me. My name is Genbrick. And Genbrick like awkwardly bows at the waist.
With pleasure. My name is Vanya.
Yeah,
my friend
Vanya.
here. He points over to you two.
How tall is our little goblin friend? Is he same height as Raven, or?
Well, I'm as tall as my mama made me. No, I'm about and I count on a big rock hand. I'm about 4.5 foot. As the dragons will it.
Look at me then. Very. Just takes it in. What a tall drink of water. This. specialties other than like, you know, having a rock for an arm? Like, what do you do with that? Is it like for like bashing? Is it for like just like putting things on? Or
Well, I mean, it does a few things. It just it lets me grab things that are really hot or really cold. It's good for. It's not so good for picking on the old ears or nose. It's a bit too big for that. I should point out that this boulder hand that he has, it's his left hand, is approximately the size of his head, which in itself, he's quite a large-headed goblin. Yeah, large, kind of round, bouldery like sausage fingers. But yeah, I mean, I'm good at a few things. I know which way is up and which way is down sometimes. But I'm sure I could come useful for anything that you really need me to do. Just ask, and we'll see if old Gimble here is able to do it for you. So,
Well, the more the merrier, I am sure.
well, yeah, that's what I've actually I've never really said that before, not specifically, but no, it's a good idea. You sound like a smart one.
Well, I'm not judging with the arm and all. And he presents under the cloak the gauntleted, stone gauntlet fist.
Ah, yeah, no, we're almost the same.
Exactly. So there's no judging here.
That's good. Scratching his scruffy little beard.
Well, do you need to get provisions before we go?
No, I think I'm good. Like rifle through, and he's going through these many pockets about his person, and he's just pulling out like twigs and leaves and bits of lint, a ball of string, and yeah, no, I'm all ready to go.
GM,
Yes.
have we eaten
do we have
yet?
to bring him?
Technically, no. You could just leave him behind. Bye, Dan. We'll see you later. You would have had a relatively, sort of hearty breakfast, I would say. But you also know that New Richwood is not like it is already like an established settlement. There will be places that you can probably pick up food when you're there.
I'm just thinking if I need to cook before we go, or later.
Well, I would say you probably think that you would be able to pick up provisions when you get there.
Oh, I've got the provisions with me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Well.
just when to cook. But
I would.
if we're eating, then we'll.
Well,
head
you
straight
know
on.
that you can't be any longer than a day because you've already made plans for tomorrow. So you are eager to sort of head out while there's still like an element of light. As I said, like at this time of year, it's still like there's a little bit of light, but it's still quite dark. The evenings at this time of year are quite the nights just are quite long.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you've decided to allow Genbrick to join you on your adventure. So you head on over to. So you head on over to the Dan. Does the place where the portals are have a particular name at this time?
You know what? Not particularly, but I guess off the top of my head, let me do a quick Google search to make sure that I'm not going to say the wrong words. Let's say the concourse. A large open space where paths and roads meet.
Okay. There you go. Okay, so you head on over to the concourse where you can pick up where you obviously give in this assignment, and they open the portal up to you. Has Genbrick been through any of the portals before, Dan?
He would have. Whether or not he truly acknowledged that he had, that's up for debate. I mean, he's still like a relatively new face around town. Yeah, he's probably unwittingly walked through a portal at some point in his life. Not really noticed. But I would argue he's one of the rare few that's actually entered into Avamore on foot.
Right.
So just to double check that your Gimbrick has only been around the Explorers of Elsewhere's vicinity for a shortish period of time. So we've probably only seen you once or twice around in the hall.
You've probably definitely heard remarks of "Cooey!" Like as you've been going around the plazas and whatnot. But yeah, Gembrick's new to this show.
But a familiar sound.
Oh yes.
So, as you walk through the portal to the familiar sort of like judding of the chest and then thump, into New Richwood, you find yourself. Dun, 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 not only that, I've got control of Foundry now.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Who are these maps by again, Dan? Can you remember?
These are Dr. Mapzo.
No, it's not Birdie Maps this time.
Dr. Mapzo.
That was it. He has a Patreon. I believe he's a he. Maybe them. They have a Patreon. do go and check them out because they've got some brilliant stuff on there.
Oh, there's a little bunny.
You find yourself smack bang in the middle of New Richwood. And despite it looking fairly well cared for, like some really lovely buildings around, and obviously there has been some activity happening, the juxtaposition from going from Avamore, which has been super busy, lots of people walking around, lots of people, saying hello, well wishes, all sorts. New Richwood is fairly dead. Like, you can see that there's some activity happening in like some of the houses. You can see people sort of walking past their windows, but the outside is fairly quiet. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. As you stand there and sort of take in your surroundings, the door to the sort of closest building to you opens. And rushing out to you is a little goblin boy, who you can only surmise is a little goblin boy. He looks like excited, yet frightened at the same time. He is wearing... I don't know if they can see this on...
Baby.
Yeah, no, you can.
He's wearing a jacket that's way too big for him. And his face, despite from the green on his face is slightly red, and you're not completely sure if that's from the cold or whether he's been crying a bit. And he rushes out to you, and he's like, explorers, hi, I'm Milo. Hello. Are you here? Did you get my note?
I thought it was you that must have wrote the note.
Yeah, I had
Are you
help.
okay?
Yeah. No, I'm really glad. I had help. Write the note. And he's like, he's sort of, he sees like all of you, and he's looking, and it's almost like he's looking for who the leader is, but he can't quite decide which one of you is the leader. And he's just like, and he's just like, is that, no, like, come in. And he sort of, he kind of grabs your cloak, Vanya, and he sort of goes like, nah, come in, quick. Get out the
show
cold.
us the way.
Get out the cold. And he takes you into the closest building, which is, it's almost like a sort of, it's a shop basically, and it looks like the big shop of the town. Like it has all your preservatives that you need. It has like your bread and your dairy and other things like flowers and such. But pretty much like the rest of the town, it's pretty dead, which is really surprising considering that Avonmore was so busy with people going in and out of shops and buying things for people and blah blah blah. But this shop is pretty dead, and all you can see is obviously this little goblin boy and a Lorivar woman, sort of like long black hair, and she's sort of just like before she sort of shoots up when she sees you coming in, and the little goblin boy who you now know as Milo, he's just like Viera, they're here, they came, they saw my note, they saw our note. And she's just like, oh my goodness, thank you, please come in out of the cold. And she sort of welcomes you into the shop. And Milo is quite eager to talk to you. But the Lorivar woman who you know now as Viera has kind of gone like, Milo, please just calm down. We'll get to them. We'll talk to them in a moment. And Milo goes, no. Let me explain. He's like, I gave you the note. My brother, he's gone missing. And he's all I got, and I can't. And he starts crying again. He's all I got, and I can't find him.
Hey, it is okay. We will find your brother.
Vieira just sort of brings him in and sort of cradles him while he starts crying again up against her, and she's just like, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for answering our note. You see that his brother's obviously gone missing, and his brother's all he has. The problem is that there's Milo's brother's quite older. He must be sort of about 18. He's almost, well, he's an adult really, but there have been children missing as well. We've had children gone missing, and obviously with the snow and the weather, goodness knows where they are, and families are frantically going out into the wilderness to go and find them, but it's so dangerous out there for them that we're just common folk. We don't know where they've gone, and we really need your help.
Well, it is a good thing you called the explorers of elsewhere. And luckily for you, a few of us are quite good at tracking people.
Oh, fantastic.
Not me.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're good at something, else you wouldn't be an explorer.
That's very true.
Quite knowledgeable, this one.
So, how many are missing? How many kids?
Well, I would say about 7 or 8.
Oh,
7 or 8.
blimey.
Yes, as I said, everyone's in. We did ask our mayor to go and call for explorers to come and help us, but I mean he's also gone AWOL. We haven't seen hair or head of him anywhere. We don't know if he's in Avonmore, if he's gone out there. Last he told us.
So how long's it been since everyone disappeared?
Oh, it's probably been about a week, and we're everyone's sort of locking their children inside now, seeing as there seems to be new children going missing every day.
And what is the age group of these children?
Oh, well, they're like Milo's age range. They're sort of 7 to 10-year-olds. The only difference is his brother.
Gemrick stood to the side and he's got one eye closed and his finger and thumb out, like he's measuring something, and he's it looks like he's measuring Milo's head size through one open eye, and yeah, that sounds about right. 7 to 10, I would say.
Milo sort of has stopped crying for a bit, and he's looking at you, Gembrick, and he's like, "Oh, what happened What happened to your arm?
Well, it's a bit of a funny story, actually. So there was this one day, and I was hunting for a rabbit, and it ran into a rabbit hole, and I stuck my hand deep in that hole, and I was rummaging around, and I felt something sharp cut me. And I didn't really think anything. I didn't get the rabbit, but then it didn't nothing really happen, and then I was really thirsty after hunting the rabbit, so I found this pool, this lake, this pond, and there were some people that said that the pond was magical, but I didn't see much of that. I was slurping up, the bunch of water, and then when I was on my way home, I found this shiny rock. It was glowing and everything, and I picked that thing up, and it was all warm and tingly in my hand, and I rubbed it around, and it made little sparks when I tipped it with my fingertips, but then I lost it, and then I woke up and I had a rock hand. It was the weirdest thing to have happened off the back of no real indicators that it was going to happen.
I don't understand anything you said. Vera goes, shush, shush, shush.
The world's... All I can say is that the world spirits, they work in mysterious ways. You can just be doing your day-to-day things one day, and the next morning you wake up and you got a big old rock hand.
So you think it was the world spirit that made your hand into a rock?
Maybe. I mean, I do pride myself, if I do say so myself, as a bit of a translator for world spirits. I see what they do in the world, and I do my best to convey the messages to the people that are not so fortunately gifted as I am.
And Vanya, at this point, I think he lifts up his stony fist. It's like, good to know, friend. He's reaching out for a little stony fist bump.
There's a crunch,
of you...
a crunch and a rumble, or like a rattle as the hand twists.
I do think at this moment, just because you gave us such a marvelous little backstory, I think that qualifies for my Soldier Spawn feature. We can both get free hope.
Tell you what, that feature that gives you 3 hope for doing relatively little, perfectly balanced. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think everyone should have it.
So yes, just because that's spiel and this particular episode, I think you can have the free hope.
Well, gee, I just feel good to be able to talk to someone, because usually people just wander off before I finish my stories.
Don't say.
I do say it. I keep on trying to say it, but they keep on wandering, and I just think that's super rude. Makes me a little sad.
Alfred is still staring at his hand in terror.
It's a cautionary tale. Don't pick up randomly rocks, or you'll turn into a rock. I think that's the story for us all.
Lessons have been learned today.
Don't drink out of puddles, magic puddles.
What? Why? Are you suggesting that had something to do with the old?
I'm not a medicine person. I just feel there was maybe a set of circumstances that might have led to that point.
Vera is just sort of standing there while she's watching you
We've only just met this guy, so I'm a bit like, whoa, I'm a bit bamboozled by all this information. But we'll put a pin in it for now, and back to you, little tiny Tim. What's your name? Milo. Dad, are they all little goblins? Old goblin children, or
no, they're all different kind. Like mostly Laravel live here, but some. I think me and my brother are only goblins here.
How tall's your brother?
Oh, he's like this big.
I think they might have thought he was a kid. Does he look like a kid? But I often get mistaken as a
he's
kid.
my big brother. He's
I know,
big and strong.
I know.
Bigger
I'm
than
big
you.
and strong. Yeah, bigger than me. Yeah.
Did they just wander off into the snow, or I mean, if we're finding them, as we do, we might need to know where they might have gone.
Well, he went to help. He went to help the other grown-ups go and find them, and they went in, and he sort of looks around and he sort of points roundabout, sort of southwest.
He's pointing
like-
south.
They went sort of that way. And Vaera sort of says, like, anything you can do, anything you can, like, to help look for the children. We know that some of the other people around here have gone out, but obviously because of the terrain and the weather, they found it any difficult to venture any further.
That is a good point. If we were to travel that way, just disregarding the snow, what kind of terrain would we normally be facing? Is it just hilly? Is it forest, bog?
Flat.
We have found rather strange terrain recently.
Is it flat terrain? That's my favourite. When it's flat.
Unfortunately, it's not flat, I'm afraid.
Oh.
It's well, we're called New Richwood because of the Richwood trees that are around here. They've provided so much lumber and trade for the area.
Made of gold.
Exactly.
Made of
But
gold.
if you travel more sort of southwards, there are some more mountainous areas, some caves, as far as other people have told me, and it also leads to a wide river that's down in that area. Obviously, not all of us have sort of ventured that far. There's lots of wild animals out there. We have recently had an issue with wolves, sort of around the area, coming in, taking our chickens, and they're, we've caught a couple of them, and of course we don't want to hurt them, but we can't have them stealing our food supply. So we unfortunately currently have them caged out. The mayor has them caged outside.
The wolves or the chickens?
Well, both.
Oh.
Not
Yeah,
together.
that's
Not
why.
together, obviously.
Yeah.
But if there is no mayor, is the wolves still there?
The wolves are still being looked after in the cage, until we can wait until the winter has blown over, and then we can release them back into the wild when it's safer for us to travel further afield.
It
But
is
for-
because they've not met an alpha.
Oh. Well, I mean, there is a.
Yeah, they haven't met Vinny yet, have they?
I mean, there is a druid that lives far out into the woods. I think he communes with the wolves, but I don't know very much about him. As far as I'm aware, we've asked him about the children, and he says he knows nothing. He's quite a recluse.
All the best druids are.
That's all the information I can give you, I'm afraid. Like, the mayor knows so much more, but
Do you
Like-
have any items of personal possessions of the children, or clothing, or something that might carry their scent? I know it's quite windy out there, but if maybe we can catch their scent on our travels, we might be able to hone in their location.
Vera looks at Milo and says, have you got anything? And Milo sort of digs into his big pockets that are way too, in his jacket that's way too big for him. And he pulls out like a small like hair bow. And he goes like, well, this is Maggie's. She's gone missing.
That will do. If
And
they're
then
all
he's-
together.
And while he's thinking about that idea, he goes in, he pulls out like a neckerchief, and he goes, and this is my brother's. If you can find him too, if you think he's with them, he's super brave. He would have gone to go find them, so he must be with them.
Yeah, of course. Whatever one you're willing to provide to us might give us a better chance of finding them.
What's your brother's name?
His name is Mako.
Mako.
Well, thank you very much. We better make haste
Yeah.
then, and
Thank you. If
Wanna
there's
go before it's dark.
there's anything I can give you, and she sort of like looks round and she sort of hands you some food supply. So she hands you like some breads and some meats to sort of take on your travels. It's like it's not much. This is the least I can do.
No. Save it for your townsfolk. I've got plenty of food for us for the journey. And
you really
like
do.
underneath the cloak, there's this like cool bag. Magical cool bag that just slowly.
Modern pool vest.
And don't worry, keep it for yourselves. You'll need it to get through this harsh winter. I've got us covered for food.
Okay, well, I
I've
mean,
stocked up.
yeah, thank you. That's very kind. As I said, I don't have any more information. You may find something at the mayor's office. I'm not completely sure. When I spoke to Milo about this, he said that there wasn't any notices on the board about Richwood. There was only like a couple of things left. So I'm worried that the mayor didn't even make it to Avonmore to put up the notice. So that's why we put up our own.
Well, we've been looking for jobs, and this one came up. So if you haven't had any other explorers come, I don't think he ever would have put a notice up. Otherwise, we would have seen it.
I knew he shouldn't have become mayor. He's too young. He's too flighty. And she sort of goes
We-
off on her own, sort of like.
We haven't had a great experience of mayors, to be honest. Most of them
Yeah.
we've met have been pretty rubbish.
Oh,
I
mean, that doesn't
can't
hold
even
up.
name one. Can't even name one good mayor
No.
that we've met the entire time. We've been adventurous.
Pretty rubbish.
Rather
They're all
murdered.
rubbish. They're all terrible. I mean,
Doesn't hold much hope up for me.
well, it's just government, innit? You know, you're never gonna get a good one.
True.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go have a
We've
chat
got
with the
this.
wolves, see if they've got anything to say. So, off we pop, guys. Come on in.
Let's go.
Shakes Milo's hand. Nice to meet you, son.
As you wander out into the snow, Milo sort of follows behind you while you're sort of going out, and he closes the door behind you just as he goes, and he's just like, wait before you go, and he's sort of like shaking his sleeves, like really to sort of keep himself warm, but also in kind of like fear and excitement. He's just like, Vaira didn't want me to say anything, but I know that she thinks it's the wolves, but my brother was saying there's a monster out there. And there's a big monster, big hairy monster, bigger than
Hairy.
wolves. Yeah. And he went out there to go and
Really?
find it. He thinks it stole the children. But she doesn't want me to say anything because she says it's silly. And I don't want to get her mad.
this
She's
is-
been looking after me.
This is good. If there's a big scary monster involved, don't you worry. I will sort it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. He sort of like he takes the hand out of his gauntlet to sort of pat the child on the head, like give him a
Your
little
hand
scrap.
is massive compared
Yeah.
to his little head.
And it's just like, get in the warm. We've got this. Don't worry.
Okay. Bye.
And goodbye. And yeah, ruffles up the fur-lined collar of this cloak, and gets his gauntlet back on. It's like, right? Are we talking to wolves or something first?
Yeah, I think me and Vinny can have a chat with them.
Can you really do that?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know if they've got anything to say.
No,
Yeah.
let's try it.
They might not know anything. They're known for not really speaking much. Sometimes they're just a bit aloof, really. Especially if they're in jail. Like, they probably don't really want to speak to us. But I'll have a chat with them. Especially if they'll know if there's a big monster around. That's
I
bigger than
suppose
theirs.
it is their home.
Alright, off we go then.
So you're sort of. Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, as we walk towards the wolves, there's a feature that Alfred can do, which I've not actually used yet because I haven't been entirely sure how it works. But can I spend a token to use inspirational words and give a hope.
Of course you can.
To give a hope over.
Wait, so do you gain
To
a hope?
Riri.
Sorry.
So I having spoken to Riri and asked her a question, I can give you a hope using my inspirational words.
And that costs
What do
you
they
a hope?
sound like?
Does that cost you a hope? Sorry.
No, I have 3 tokens to spend, and they, depending on who I talk to, they can have 3 different benefits. So either clears the stress, gives you a hit point, or gives you a hope.
Nice, nice.
Give that to Riri.
So Riri gains a hope.
Yes.
So that's just while you're walking and talking.
Yeah.
Sort of like.
Because he's so inspirational.
I think Riri, actually, you don't hear very many people sort of talk how good you are at things. Like, you know you're good at things, but sometimes you feel like people don't acknowledge you enough for how good you are at things. So hearing Alfric sort of be really impressed with what you're about to do.
He's not good with dogs.
You just kind of go like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, not everyone could talk to wolves. Yeah. Well, our little goblin mate might be able to. I feel like we might have some. Don't know.
Or at least he thinks he can.
He's got a smile on his face that suggests he might, but also.
So it doesn't actually take you very far to get where you need to go, because it's pretty much sort of like the next house down. That you see like you see like a large cage with 2 relatively small, almost like kind of in between that puppy and wolf phase. Two small wolves sort of like locked in a cage. They've got like some sort of like cloth covering that's sort of protecting them from the snow, and they've got hay. It looks like they're relatively being well looked after, but you can tell that they're not like happy to be in a cage. And from what Vaira said, you can guess that this is probably the mayor's house, because she said that the mayor had locked these wolves up.
Okay. I think Riri will turn to the other and go, just wait here a minute, because
Riri,
they might not want to... What?
would it help if I provided you with a little bit of tough jerky to persuade them? Like nibble on.
Yeah, no, I think they'd like that. They look a bit chilly, to be honest. But
Yeah,
you might have to pay Vinny a tax. You're gonna get it out.
Always, Vinny. I got enough of it. And yeah, I provide some mystery meat jerkies.
Okay, brilliant. Riri just throws one to... Vinny just eats one straight out of your hand.
Yeah. Good boy.
Alright, I'm just gonna have a chat with them, but just keep back, because they might be a bit wary of humans.
Fair
Me and
enough.
Vinny will go over. So Riri's gonna walk over to the cage with some jerky in each hand. And I need to make a rolly.
As you arrive at the cage, there's a moment where you just happen to sense that there's a presence next to you, and when you turn to look, Gembrick has appeared at your side, and you didn't hear like the snow crunching underfoot or the jingle jangling of his like wooden jewelry. He's just silently next to you with a smile.
No, Gendry, I just said, just stay. They might. I don't want to spook them, and you're not.
Don't you worry. Gembrick doesn't spook a person. Doesn't spook anyone.
You spooked me, to be honest, mate. So.
Well, you with the larks. Carry on. I'm just here to see what you're doing.
Well, just don't just don't put your hands in or anything.
Oh,
all right?
Okay. And I put my flesh hand in my pocket.
Keep it in there.
Okay.
Right. Roly. That's a 9. That's a crit. Is that? No, wait.
So 19 with hope.
It's a 19 with hope. Has to make a 12, so I can talk to them. Because I have Nature's Tongue ability.
Ooh.
So it'd actually be a 22 actually, because I get +2 on that.
So what does? How is that? If you could describe that to me, what does it inquire me to do? Just talk back.
Yeah, just talk back so I can.
Okay.
Because I've rolled with hope,
Mhm.
they can understand me and they can give me information.
Right.
If I rolled with fear, then you'd have limited information, or we could only have limited understanding
Okay.
of each other. So Rory just kind of gets down, on like, just so she's already kind of at puppy height anyway,
Yeah.
and just kind of puts the 2 pieces of jerky through the bars for them. She goes, "You right, guys?"
The 2 puppies sort of like sniff quite hesitantly to begin with, and then when they hear that you're kind of speaking to them and they can understand you,
Or anyone else who will go, "Aroo, roo, 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 roo."
they go, I'm so hungry, and then they just and they go, and as they sort of wolf down this jerky, one of them just kind of looks at you and goes, "More."
Oh, I can get you some more in a minute. I just have to ask my friend. He's got like a load of weird stuff in his bag, so I can get you some in a minute. I just need to know. There's been some like kids miss. But what do you want?
I think you're still a little bit hungry.
Yeah, no, they are hungry. It's just I'm gonna have a. Have you got anything for them?
No.
Well, okay. Do you want to go back and ask? Oh, you know the big guy with the furry coat, like the pecs. Pecs always out, glistening. Vanya, do you want to go ask him if he's got some more meat, and I'll give it to the lads.
Nate, I've just rolled a 26. Now I say
Hope or fear?
with hope, and I look at the wolves, and now, is there anything in particular that you're after? And it turns out the Gembrick also has Nature's Tongue.
Oh, we're in a four-way conversation. Brilliant.
Is
Okay.
there anything in particular that you've got a bit of a hankering for? Because I know that when I'm feeling a bit hungry, sometimes I just need something very specific to hit the spot.
Just meat.
But there's all sorts of meat. Sometimes people just need to be a bit more picky. I will return to Vanya for meat.
You're after more meat, you say?
Yeah, they're not all that fussy, to be honest with you. So anything you got, I mean,
Well,
some good meat. I
maybe-
mean, they're quite hungry.
maybe the jerky is probably not meat fatty enough in this cold weather.
No,
Hold on.
got any
um,
Wagyu?
I got something similar.
Oh,
And
good,
he
good.
pulls out this. It has been cooked because we cooked it when we were on our adventure last. Now this meat, I cooked some separately in case we needed it. But this is a much fattier meat. You see, it's like red meat, cooked meat. And meat Vanya presents it as this 2 thick slabs of cooked meat. This is boulder yak meat.
Ooh,
They're very tender, thick, slapping you with the meat.
I'll take the meat slabs and this start chewing on the side. Yeah, it's good. You notice that
Thank you.
he's got one tooth missing in his upper jaw. There's another tooth that's wobbling quite roundly. Cooked it up a tree. I'll take this. Thanks. And I'll come back with
You're
Bob Yak.
welcome.
with some tooth marks in it.
As Gendrick walked off, Ravi took the opportunity to try and get as much conversation with these wolves as possible before he comes back and starts yibbering. So she's like, right, he's going to get you some meat, all right, lads? So, I just want to ask you, have you seen any kids? 2, have you seen any monsters? 3, did you eat the kids and are you the monsters?
The wolves sort of look at each other and go like, well, we've seen kids around here.
No, like in the woods. There's a load of kids missing and they think it might be the wolves. So I want to kind of clear that up. So, you know.
Oh,
Say it wasn't you guys, because I wouldn't think it was you guys, because look at the size of you. You couldn't eat a kid, could you? Not a whole one.
No, not a whole one.
No,
Like,
not a whole one.
we've been told explicitly from Mother not to harm the people here.
Oh, your mum's nice, mummy.
Yeah, nice mummy. We miss her.
Oh, you'll be back with her soon.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys out. I will.
Thank you. Can you get us out now?
What? Yeah, probably. Yeah, to be honest, I will, because I think we've got a bit of rapport, haven't we? And you wouldn't eat any kids.
No.
Brilliant. Okay, that's good enough for me. But have you seen, like, is there a monster? Is there a bigger monster in the? Have you seen like anything scary? Anything that might have like eaten kids?
No monsters. No.
Huh. That's that then.
So you let us out? Out of cage?
Oh, you're gonna be good. You're not gonna yeah.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. Good.
Can I do like a? Can I instinct? Or is it perceive? Like some kind of
Yeah.
make sure that they're not secretly
Yeah.
werewolves.
If perceive is going to be insight, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. That is an 18 with fear.
It's 18 with fear.
Give me 2 seconds while I learn how to add my fear up. Ha 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 ha. There we go. With an 18, you can tell pretty well, like, they're very excitable, like dogs, excited to hear about food and excited to hear about being let out. You can tell from talking to them there's nothing malicious about their intent. They just want to get out, and they kind of go like, we can find Mother, we'll take you to Mother. She'll know if there's a monster.
Oh, brilliant. Just all right, if I let you out, we've got one rule. Don't try and bite any of the people I'm with. You look at the people behind me, these guys. Well, maybe you can bite the new goblin, because he's... But the big dragon, don't... He's very
No.
nice, don't bite him. No,
Look,
very nice.
blue looks tasty.
I know, but no,
Oh,
scale. It's got
okay.
scales. Take
Oh.
ages. Vanier, the one that kind of looks like a wolf. Got white
Yep.
fur.
Big
Yeah.
man.
Big man.
You just
Don't
see him
mess
in the
with him.
background, just like shake.
'Cause, if you
Alfred's like staring.
if you try and bite him, he'll probably just cook you up. You know,
Oh,
he's got no qualms about that. So, got a deal?
They sort of
All right. Is there
shake as much as the wolf can shake its head, like nod its head.
is there a way of is there a clear, easy way of opening the cage? Is it locked? Is
The
it-
cage, the cage has a padlock on it, so if there's any way you can get that off.
Can I roll?
Or
Or I've got a tinkering, so can I roll to lockpick?
yeah, you
That
can roll
one,
to lock.
please. Make sure I don't have anything. I mean, I could just go into his house and see if he's got a thing. Okay. I will see if I can lockpick it.
What you doing there?
What's just gonna let the guys out?
I'll look from Rayri to the wolves, to Rayri to the wolves. I'll take another bite of the yak meat, the boulder yak, and then... Okay then!
You got a way? Are you any good at like lock picking? Because I'm all right, but
Maybe.
have you done it before or got like experience?
Maybe. I can bash it. Got a big rock
yeah,
hand.
I mean, we could try that as well. Should I try and pick it? And if that doesn't work, we just lop it off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, brilliant.
Like the answer to most things in life. Oh, you look like you've done a good job.
I did a brilliant job there. Just fell apart in my hands.
Critical
Critically.
success. Yes, with that, while you're sort of having this almost argument with Gembrick, you're not really paying much attention to what you're doing, and you just hear this sort of click click, and you're like, oh, and the bolt just falls off, and
Oh, turns out I'm
can-
brilliant at lock picking.
and
Are they letting the wolves out?
Come on then, lads. How we get? Come in.
the puppies are sort of like kind of bashing at the door, and they're sort of like jumping around, and they're just like, yeah, we're out, let's go.
What are your names, guys?
Names.
That's right, Nate. Name the animals. The curse of every GM. Name the damn animals.
My name is Pre, and my name is Bree.
Bree and Bree. Brilliant. Brilliant. Those are 100% not made up on the spot. I love it.
Our mothers lovingly named us after the great wolf spirit that came from the earth.
Bree and Bree.
Bree and Bree.
Her name is Camembert.
I will tear the boulder yak steak into equalish sized chunks and then hand them to Pre and Bree. Bree. I'm not there's a moment I'm not sure if Vinny was part of the pack. So yeah, it'll be four
Vinny's
parts.
like he's part of the pack.
Yeah. So one to Bree, one to Bree, one to Vinny, and then a quarter for myself.
Fantastic. As you're sort of feeding all these bits, that you do hear some lights and some noises going on in the mayor's house, and you can sort of see movement past the window, and someone that's aiming towards probably the front door.
Right, Scarpa. It's jailbreak, lads.
Ray, are you bolting with these wolf pups?
Yeah.
Okay. Gembrick will spin on the spot, somewhat confused, and then just stand awkwardly.
No, we're going. Like she says, no, we're on. And then just as she's like on Vinny riding off, and the pups are running behind her, she's like, no, we're going. Oh, fine. She runs. She just darts off around the corner.
So, Nate, is someone coming to... Does it look like someone's coming to the door, or...
You can hear sort of movements towards the door, and you can hear in sort of like in the house going, Lucille, is there someone outside? Can you go check?
Oh, don't worry, it's just me. It's just Gembrick.
Again, Brick? Who is... And then you can see someone... You can hear sort of like footsteps within the house. As the door opens, and you see an Asavar woman, heavily pregnant, sort of look out of the door and stare at you, Gembrick. Alfric and Vanya, where are you at the moment? We know that Rayri's bolted.
I feel like we've just been standing in the snow, just
Yeah.
watching the whole thing. Like,
No. Did they just release the wolves? And we just see the wolves and Vinny just run past. And then we
it's,
see, like,
caught in the light of this door. Like,
yeah.
She sort of
Oh.
stands there and looks at the three of you, and she's just like, "Can I help? Can I help you?"
Sorry, let us explain. We are explorers of elsewhere. We came here on a job to try and find the missing children and I think your husband, Mayor?
As you say her husband, you could see her face light up, but as you say your husband, her face then drops. And she starts tearing up as she's like, "My husband did not send for you then."
a small child did. But
A
I hear.
small child.
Yeah. And that's just as good. Right?
No, because my husband's been missing for a week now.
And
He
we are
told me he
going
was-
to find them. Don't worry.
But
Well, I mean, maybe she should worry a little bit. It's quite scary in the cold to be glass for so long. I mean, all sorts of things could have happened to him by now. He could have been frozen to death, or he could have been eaten to death, or he could have
As you
fallen
say
off a
this,
cliff.
she shakes, her eyes go back into her head, and she goes, "Oh," and she just faints on the floor as like a maid comes over and sort of helps her out. And she's just like, oh my dear, just whatever you're doing, go away."
Close
She
the
sort
door.
of drags the heavily pregnant woman in.
We'll see it. Bye. As I close the door.
We'll bring back his body.
Revive your wolves.
And on that note, are you heading off into the woods?
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've caused enough damage here tonight.
I think we did a magnificent job.
It's so comforting.
So, Rayri, you're following the wolf pups. They're taking you in the same direction that Milo told you about earlier on, sort of like.
So, like, we're
southwest.
following the footsteps. We're following the.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what we're gonna run kind of into the woods to kind of get out of
Yes.
sight and kind
Yes.
of wait for, and
Yeah.
I'll tell Bree and Pre to
Yeah.
to hold on a minute because we've got to wait for the others.
Okay. So yeah, you head on into probably a nice thicket of woods. Until then, you know that you're completely out of sight, but you can hear the others sort of chasing after you as well. Mostly Genbrick sort of reciting another story of when he had to run this fast through a woods one time. And so you stop, and the others catch up with you, and you're in this slightly sort of thicket of woods. Probably once used to be thicker than it was. You can see like a lot of the trees have been cut down, but it's not like too bad because you can see new trees have also been planted as well. The wolf pups are very eager to sort of go, and they'll go like, "We'll take you to mother. We'll take you to mother. She'll know if there's a monster here."
No,
But
just got
they're-
away from my friends. Got to wait for a second, mate.
Well, they've caught up now, so if there's anything you want to discuss before you carry on your journey.
I'll just briefly catch up Alfric and Vanier. Just be like, right,
This is Bree. Their mum. Sounds all right.
we're gonna go find her, and she might be able to give us some sort of guidance on if there's any monsters in the woods. And these guys swear down, absolutely swear down, they've never eaten a child in their life.
Oh, good. They should be full now from my boulderyak
Yeah,
meat.
exactly. We've had loads of food, so
Alfric, weirdly enough, you've never really seen wolves like in real life. You've probably
No.
seen them in your books, but you didn't think that wolves could like shake their head. So
He's learning
I
new
can't look up.
things.
So you're journeying following these wolf pups. They're sort of gambling around. They're so excited to be like free out of their cage, jumping around. They're like, oh, we've been in there for, and they're telling you sort of like, about, we've been in there for so long. We came here looking for chickens. Like mother said, we shouldn't come here to look for chickens, but we're so hungry. There's nothing here. And then the big man with the big ears, he caught us and he put us in a cage, and we just and they regale you the story of how they got caught and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
You carry on through the woods. It's probably been like a good hour or so, and as you know, this time of year it's starting to get darker. The sun is, that low sort of winter sun is starting to set. Though despite it probably only being like about like 3 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You appear out of the end of the woods, and you sort of well, not the end of the woods, you're still in the woods, but you sort of find yourself in a clearing, where the pups are really sort of bounding around, and they're sniffing, and they're looking around, and they sort of bound off in front of you. Though without the amount of trees in the way, it's not hard to see where they're sort of heading off to. You can see in front of you there is like a small hut, like a small solitude hut, with a couple of wolves sort of like circling it, a fire sort of burning, sort of like close to the hut, and a humanoid figure. But you're not quite close enough yet to get in this figure's details. But the puppies have they've bolted and they've bounded up. Just a quick question, Ravi, how long does how long does it that you can talk to animals go on for? Or does it just say, as long as I want, as long as Matt Mercer tells me I can?
Yeah.
It doesn't have
a finish.
Forever.
Forever.
I'd have to roll once in my entire life, and now I can talk to animals forever.
This is the first time you've done it. You're like, oh, I didn't know if it was going to even work.
Not using it to talk to Vinny at all, just only talking to some random.
What would you like to do?
I mean, Ray will just forge on ahead unless somebody stops her. So,
Just carry on with.
It's pretty bloody cold at this point.
yeah. Well, I imagine like, everyone's cold. I don't think Ray, because Ray's quite warm all the time, just radiating.
You are our source of heat.
Heat, yeah, just melting little footsteps. And the snow just kind of off of her hair. So, basically a walking hand warmer.
You've probably noticed that from someone who's lived in solitude himself.
Yeah.
You can probably tell that this is the home of another druid.
Ah, this is the hermity druid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so seeing this hut then, I'll like chew on my bottom lip for a little bit, and then I want to have a little quick kind of rummage around the local, like the vicinity. So using my experience as a nomadic survivalist, to see if I can sort of like forage what is effectively like a bouquet of natural gifts, like a hamper of natural gifts. So it will be like berries, medicinal leaves, twigs.
From his own garden.
From his own garden, yeah. Excitingly smooth round stones, like that sort of thing. So yeah, if you're happy for me to do that, yeah, just so we have something to present this druid from his own back garden.
What I don't have a character sheet in front of me.
That's right.
What is a good role that people would suggest to see the quality of stuff that you're going to be able to find?
this would be.
Would it be perceived?
Um,
Because you're
Yeah, like a
finding
perceived
things,
Yeah.
sense navigate.
like an
yeah.
It'd
instinct
be an
roll,
instinct.
basically.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
instinct, yeah.
Give me an instinct roll then.
Instinct. Okie dokie. So I've got a +3. So let me clicky on that. Clicky on that. But it's +5 because I'm using my experience.
Fantastic.
15 with fear.
15 with fear. With a 15, you find some relatively nice stuff. You're actually pretty impressed with sort of like what this area can provide.
Oh, look at that!
You find some yeah, some half-finished cigarettes, Chris says in the chat. You find some relatively rare mushrooms that seem to grow very well during these very harsh winters. You find some exceptionally nice shiny stones around a couple of the trees. You even find some that sort of almost have probably sort of like slight gems encrusted into them. Extra nice. And you find some sort of evergreen bushes that have some good sort of nice ripe plump berries. You know that they're not particularly for eating, but they can be used for sort of medicinal things. And are you just going to present them in your big hand, or have you got like a basket that you're going to present them in?
I definitely don't have a basket. Let me just see if I can somehow naturally conjure one.
Why don't you make one? Why don't you spend... I would say that Gembrick could probably just weave one up real quick.
You know what? I think I might be pseudo cheeky, and I've got a spell, Vicious Entangle, which allows me to basically make roots and vines like sprout from the ground. But
Okay.
I'm hoping I can do it in a somewhat like more controlled manner to get these vines and roots to sort of like emerge and then interlink to create a hamper of a sort.
Okay. I will say with a 15 that you are able to do that.
Cool.
You are able to create sort of like, I mean, the vines are a bit damp from the snow, but it makes a relatively nice, presentable hamper that you sort of make a bit pretty with a bit of like holly and bits and pieces like that.
I am badly whistling throughout the whole process.
So we know that Rayree's already gone up to follow the pups. Who has followed Rayre and who is watching Gembrick? Alfric, what are you doing?
I feel like actually Alfric's, because he's would you say is a dragon-esque creature? Is he cold-blooded or hot-blooded? Is he good in the snow?
Alfric is motionless. Oh, you're asking the real lore-setting questions.
Yeah.
Dragon scent biology.
Yeah.
Dragon scent biology. Is he a lizard?
Yeah. Should he brumate at this point in time? Should he just...
I'm going to imagine warm-blooded.
You're warm-blooded, but you are used to big, cozy fireplaces.
Yes, he is not used to cold. He's gone straight for that fire. He's no fucking checking it.
Vanya, how about yourself?
I was already following, as mentioned earlier, I was just following Rayre and the wolves. I obviously take note of what Gembrick's doing and initially think, oh, maybe I can add... no, this seems to be like a vegan type meal.
It's a druid thing.
A druid.
Bits of rock.
Bloody woke druids.
They might as well lick a stone.
Yeah, licking
And
much
as you say
cheese.
that, you see Gembrick sort of go, oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's like, need nutrition.
While Gembrick's gathering these many little gifts, the three of you have approached the fire. As you as you approach this figure closer, you notice that there is a much larger, like white wolf, whitish grey wolf, sort of sitting by his side. And he's sitting on a log, and he's sort of not doing much. He's holding on to a large staff, and he's just sort of meditating by this fire. Let me bring that up. There you go. You notice as you go closer up to him, he's a large wolfkin with long, sort of straggly white hair and a big white beard, and he's got himself covered in sort of like this large blue cloak to keep him warm. And he's holding on to this staff, which glows with sort of like these intricate, like blue designs and gems, which then has a large sort of crystallized sort of rock sort of attached to this long wooden staff. And as you sort of approach, and he hears the crunching of the snow beneath your feet, and he notices the sort of pup sort of running around and excited. The larger wolf doesn't react, sort of like, you know, its ears prick up and it sort of looks around, but it looks quite content, and it doesn't sort of move from its spot. As the other wolves sort of like around are very excited about seeing these puppies returned. The wolfkin sort of raises his head to the three of you, and he's like, "Good afternoon. I don't get many visitors around here, but you are welcome to share my fire if you wish to be away from the cold for a little bit longer."
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I think our friend here is providing you with a gift. And look over towards Gimbrick.
We all look over like, there he is.
I will approach and in just cupped in this large rocky hand, I'll just present this basket of vines with berries, nuts, twigs and rocks harvested from his very woodland. I didn't really know what exactly it was that you might want, but I just picked the things that looked the prettiest and looked the tastiest.
He looks at you, and he takes the basket, and he looks at it, and he goes like, "This is a very thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, they're very close to my house. I could have probably gathered them myself, but the fact that you went out of your way to gather these for me, I very much appreciate.
Yeah, man.
So thank you."
That's alright. It would have taken longer if I had to walk further away from the house, you see, so time is of the essence.
Very true, very true. Thank you. I see you have brought some pups with you. They have been missing for a couple.
They were locked at the local village and we let them out. They said that they didn't have anything to do with anything, so we just thought it was a bit mean to keep them there, so we did a little jailbreak. Did we, lads?
He looks down and he sort of scoffs, and he goes like, they're good puppies. They didn't mean any harm.
No, well, luckily they didn't eat anything, but you gotta be careful because they were out there trying to steal chickens.
He looks at them, and they sort of look at him and go like that.
Don't pretend you didn't, but like, don't Bree.
He kind of tilts his head and he says, "You know their names?"
We had a little chat when I was breaking them out.
He nods and he goes, "Thank you, young one. That is, it seems the spirits have brought me kind folk this evening. I don't have much to return to you, but as I said before, you're more than welcome to share my fire."
Well, you might be able to return something with a little knowledge.
I'll do as much as I can.
Do you know anything about any missing kids? Or slash monsters?
He sort of. The villagers have asked me already if I know anything about their missing children. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of that knowledge, I'm afraid. As for monsters, I've lived in these woods for quite a while now, and it depends on what people consider a monster. People consider these wolves monsters. But I would
What
like to
about
say
something a lot bigger and furrier and
maybe
scarier?
Toothier.
toothier, you say?
Something big.
Quite monstrous, usually.
Quite monstrous. Well, I can't say that I have seen anything in this woods. I mean, in these dark days, shadows can play tricks on you. But I will say that these woods are dangerous. I wouldn't suggest venturing any further.
Can I gauge that he's being earnest and forthright with his responses, rather than telling us lies or hiding his true intent?
Give me an insight check.
Is his shed full of children?
Yeah. Do you know, I will use. I'll spend a hope to use my experience heightened senses to check his heartbeat and stuff.
Kind of evil.
Right. Let me just roll this. What's my instinct +2 and my things are. Where's my details? +3, so that makes it a +5 to this roll. Okay. With the +5, that makes it a total of 11 with hope.
With hope.
And I'm gonna add the hope that I've just gained to my Slayer dice count.
Okay. With an 11, you can feel something slightly off with what he's talking about, but you don't know what it is. You can kind of tell that he's hiding something, but you don't know what it is.
Okay. Let me just change this a minute.
Forgive me, I did not introduce myself. My name is Izaz. And
Is as.
Where are we?
So you've been out here for a little while, you say?
Since the world went a bit crazy,
Yeah.
I've been living here for months now. I found these wolves. They welcomed me into their pact, and I have tried my best to give them safety and protection from humans, from other races who may not be as kind towards them.
Well, that sounds swell. I mean, do you have if you've not seen these missing kids, have you maybe got an idea of where they might have gone?
He crosses his arms and he sort of thinks. Unfortunately, I cannot say. You see, I don't really communicate much with the village. I don't talk with many of the people there. I like my solitude. And we will talk. We will have talks about, the resources that the forest and the wood provide. And they have been quite amicable. But aside from that, I don't really talk with them much.
I lower my head slightly to Rayri. It's like, why don't you ask the mother wolf for her opinion on this?
Oh, it's on my mind. The pups, are they, like, with a wolf in particular? Have they gone to find their mama?
So they
Look
are
around?
They're sort of more around the hut, and they are bounding around with a couple of other pups, and there is a mother there as well. What you can tell is probably the mother, because you can hear them going, Mum, Mum, Mummy, Mum, Mum,
Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Right, okay, can I go up to Mummy Wolf
You can.
and say, hey Mama Wolf, hey Mama, hey Mama.
She lowers her head at you, and she goes, I heard that you rescued my puppies. Thank you.
Oh, it's no problem. Just maybe have a little chat with them, because they're trying to steal chickens.
No. Unfortunately, it's been quite dire around here for food supplies, and I have tried to be strict with my puppies, but sometimes they do get hungry, and there's only so much I can get for them.
Well, we've fed them up good and proper. We gave them. They've had some food now.
Do you have food? And she sort of starts wagging her tail.
Food. Yeah, well, we could probably get you some food if maybe you could tell us a little bit about anything that's been going on in the forest. The little ones that you might know something about, like a monster.
The mother wolf is not as... She sort of tilts her head a little bit, and her ears sort of go down. She doesn't say much, but you can hear a small growl that comes from her.
Well, if there is something out there, I'm sure we could help.
She wants to say something, but she thinks you can, as much as a wolf can do, she sort of thinks on her words and then doesn't say anything. She just goes, thank you again.
Gembrick's going to look from Rayri to the wolf, to Rayri to the wolf, to the druid, to Rayri to the wolf, and then to Alfrek. Say, you got one of them big brains, haven't you?
Well, I am quite well read, as they say.
Well, what I'm thinking, and like, I go to disguise my mouth, but it's with the rock hand.
So subtle.
See if you can keep this beardy man here. Keep him talking for a little while, and maybe I look up to you, Vanier. Do some muscle things or something, just to distract him for a little while. Keep his attention on you two.
Sing up a song.
Yes, you should sing a song.
I can do that.
Sing a song of your people.
Oh, well.
Vanier getting what Gabriel's going on is like you seem like a druidly sort. How much contact have you had with these world spirits of late?
Well,
No, this wasn't to Gabriel. This was to.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Genbrick thinks you're talking to him. Go on, Genbrick.
Well, I think of myself more as a Gembricky kind of guy rather than a druid, but him! Oh!
Mm.
Izaz sort of looks at the both of you, and kind of getting the kind of feel of what Gembrick is, chuckles slightly, and he goes, my current solitude at the moment is to find out more about world spirits. I don't think there's a lot sort of really happening in this forest at the moment, and so I plan when the snow dies down and the days get longer to move on from this place and see what else I can find out there.
So you haven't actually communed with a world spirit yet?
No, I am afraid not.
With the distraction, I want to like very discreetly lean down until I can place my rock hand against the ground, and I'd like to spend another hope on my experience of being a translator of the world spirits, to see. I'm trying to gauge, like with the world spirits being this kind of like ephemeral. But sometimes it's like ephemeral feeling. Like, is the area in balance? Is there something that the local world spirits are like railing or protesting against? Is there something that's disrupting the natural order in this like area? Something that might give us an idea of where something's not quite right. As you place is your big boulder hand that's going down? Yeah, just as you place your big boulder hand and you sort of bury it into the snow, and feel into the ground and try and concentrate while also not making a big scene of yourself. You feel like a sort of thrumming through your fingers, and you've felt this before. Where the signal is slightly dim, but it's there. You can feel the world spirits slightly put off by something that's not right, but doesn't feel like an immediate danger. It's more like someone is messing about with magic that they don't know, and they are just watching. When you say they, sorry, the like the magic practitioners or the world spirits are just the world spirits. Okay. Something is just watching in anticipation. Is there any implication of like direction or magnitude or anything like that, or is it just like a general rumbling of like discontent? You can definitely more feel it in the direction of the southwest where Milo pointed at the very beginning. Okay. Is in your time here, has anything alarmed you from that direction? I say, pointing in a roughly southwest. Like I point, and then in the southwest, and then I change my southwesterly direction. Is there anything peculiar from over there? He sort of looks over his shoulder and looks into the southwest where there's sort of like more thicket of wood, and he says, nothing more than that it's dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous creatures out there, but if you carry on further down there, I am not going to stop you. I'm only here to give you a warning.
But if you carry on down there, it will leave you to some mountainous areas and a large river that will take you downstream.
I'll look to the three of you and, well, I mean, that little goblin tyke, he said that it was kind of in that direction, so maybe we should head that way. If old Sonny Jim here's not seen no hide nor hair of these lost kids, then we should press on.
I think so too. Just as a side note, part of Vanier's past, and especially the whole reason he's got these primal gauntlets, was from a world spirit who very much takes the form of a giant white wolf, who embodies the energies of wind and blizzards and snowier locations. So Vanier does have quite a kinship to wolf-like creatures, and so which is like, so he feels some level of connection with these wolves that are pitter-pattering around, though he cannot communicate with them or anything. But he's not. Yeah, I guess Vanya will just parting words with the druid. It's like, well, thank you for the advice, and we won't bother you anymore. Let's be on our way, everyone. No need to stick around. As he clenches the gauntlets, and there's just a slight wind and icy. Just, he wants that sort of comfort, knowing that the world spirit that he's kind of almost bound himself to is sort of just on his side, guiding him, pressing on through this snowy path, which is very much elements he's dealt with before.
Izaz looks at the four of you and he says, if you wish to continue forward, then all I can wish you is good luck and take care.
Thank you for the warning.
Gimbrick will nod. The hamper, what came of that? Did that just, like, politely get put down?
Yeah, it got lightly put down on the ground.
In which case, as we're leaving, I'll forgot that I'm the one that picked it, and then I'll grab a couple of the berries from it, and then
Izaz doesn't seem to mind.
I think as Riri leaves, she'll just kind of scruff all the little puppies, give them a little pat on the head, and just be careful, you two, because I might not be around to break you out of jail again next time, so you be good. Be good for your Auntie Riri.
They sort of bound up and down, and they're like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, like over and over again. Alfric, is there any last things you'd like to do before wandering on?
Just he casts one last lingering look at the fire. As like the darkness and snow consumes them again.
So as the four of you head southwest to the directions that Gembrick has pointed out, and to where Milo has sort of suggested that you go to find his brother and the children, we will take a break.
Fandabidozi. 10, yeah, 13 minutes. Go.
13 minutes. Right, we will see everyone in a moment.
Bye 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 bye. we are back.
We are back. No, I get to say we're back.
Oh.
Not Dan. We're back.
Nate runs the show now.
Yes. The channel is slowly becoming mine. So, we last had you lot. You were walking southwest against Izaz the Druid's remarks to say it's probably not safe to venture any forward. You decided that probably can't trust the bloke and decided to wander
does he know?
onwards. What does he know? He's only
He's lived in these forests for
months.
for years.
As you continue through the woods, you're kind of like it's now quite dark now. It's pitch black, especially in this woods that's covering the sky. Does anyone have any lanterns on them at all, or
Yeah,
anything that they can?
My
illuminate?
head.
Yeah, that's true.
Is this a wood which has pine cones on the floor?
I would say so, yeah, or some sort of thing that looks like a pine cone.
Sure. I'm gonna grab one of the a pine cone on the floor and like blow on it, dust it off a little, and then holding it in like my rock hand, I look at it really intensely, and then like it ignites, and pine cones burn for quite a long time, and I'll just hold this burning pine cone as a little torch.
Nice. Well, I would say from the light of the pine cone and the light from Rary's head, you seem to illuminate your way pretty well, until you find yourself out of the edge of the woods and onto a path, like a sort of dirt path. This path is probably pre-war. You would think that this path has been here for a while. It's just a sort of it's been, it hasn't been used for a while, but it's still fairly fairly distinctive as sort of like a large sort of just dust path. Along the sides are sort of mountainous sort of ridges leading to sort of small caves that are sort of jutting into the mountain walls, and a small lake. Well, not a small lake, like a rather sort of small but fast flowing river that's sort of flowing into sort of like bigger as it sort of heads off downstream. As you sort of approach this sort of winding sort of river and these rock faces, you're suddenly greeted, well, not greeted, you can hear sort of almost voices. Who's got like the highest insight?
3 for me.
Or what would be something to sort of perceive the area around you?
Instinct. Yeah.
Instinct.
Yeah,
who's got-
instinct. I've only got a +2 compared to probably from Dan's character's +3, I'm assuming.
But if you've got something like enhanced
I do have
senses-
my heightened senses experience, which,
So-
if needed, I can spend.
So
spend the hope to pass the roll.
So definitely Genbrick and you, Vanya, you're first to hear voices, young voices, children's voices, echoing from one of the caves, sort of speaking quite sort of quietly, but jovially, quite happy. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Seems like an odd place for wee nippers to be out.
Well, it sounds like it's coming from this direction. And I start pointing towards wherever the sound's coming from.
as you point over to one of the caves that you can hear the voices coming from, would you like to head on over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cave ledges are not so high. You can sort of make it up, sort of like the rocky banks, up to where these elevated caves are. As you look at like the number of caves that's sort of surrounding the area, they're not incredibly deep, but there's enough definitely for someone to probably, sort of like a couple of people to have a little bit of shelter. But at sort of like the mouth of the cave, you can see about 7 children of aging ranges between sort of 7 to 10, different races, majority Lorivar, but there's like a couple of Aesopar children there. There's one Majani child there as well. Let me move the lot of you as you... Boop, 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 boop.
Wait for me. Oh no.
But then you also see, because of your knowledge of being around like so many races, you also notice a much more older, but almost the same height as them, goblin young lad. But they haven't noticed you yet.
Can I potentially sneak closer and see what's going on before they notice us? Potentially.
Yep.
I guess do you want me to do a rolly? It would be finesse, potentially hide.
What are you trying to do?
I want to get close enough to see what they're doing, why they're so happy. Why are they happy? What, like, are they in danger? Do they know they're in danger? Is there an adult present? I just don't want to bash in and then they're just like, actually, there's a beast mother.
Well, the closest to an adult you can see there is the goblin lad, who's probably like about 17 to 18 years old. Yeah, I mean, no need to roll. You sort of you edge over there a little bit closer, but as you're getting closer, sort of like it definitely looks like the goblin lad is telling them stories. He's telling them stories. He's telling them rude jokes. And they're just laughing, and they're like in a little bit of hysterics, sort of like how kids get when they hear like a funny joke and they just can't stop laughing at it, and they keep on repeating it, and that just makes it funnier, and they'll just keep on laughing. So they're sort of like in their own little world of just laughing and enjoying jokes at the moment.
I'm gonna elbow Alfric in the thigh a couple of times. You're about the same age as them, by the looks of it. Why don't you go over and speak to your fellow kids?
I'm rather more than a child, actually.
Really?
Well, almost 20.
Huh. Well, you're probably the closest to them in age and whatnot. I mean, all your scales are rounded. And why don't you go on ahead? Pave the way.
He looks up for approval of this plan, desperately hoping it's not going to be approved.
Big boulder hand, thumbs up. You got this, champ. No time like the present. Off you trot, skiddly doo. Go on, scram.
He begins this nervous, acting cheerful walk.
Don't screw it up.
As you shout, "Don't screw it up." All of like the kids then turn to, and the goblin lad sort of turn and see the four of you as you, Alfric, are like,
We're all back down behind a snow dune.
the kids look frightened, but the young goblin man sort of looks at you, and he just kind of goes like, "Hey, I thought it only took it only took kids."
What do you mean it only took?
Oh shit!
What?
There's more of you. Oh,
You just pop up from the snow. Mean.
Gembrick looks at you like, you Wally.
We're here to help you.
come in here! Come in! Quick! And all the kids are just like murmuring to each other, and they're just like, "Oh, there's adults, all there's grown-ups, all grown-ups are here." And he's just like the goblin lad who you know as Mako. He's like, "We can't scare the children, okay? Like you gotta keep them happy. Like before it comes back, like it's got to hear them laughing."
What is it that put you here?
Well, it's hard to. It is a big. It's like a big.
Use your words.
It is like a monster, but it's nice. Like it's taken us, which is a bit shit, but
Language.
Sorry. It's like it's looking after us. Like I don't know where it's gone now, but it's like it's looking after the kids, but as soon as like the kids cry, it gets really angry. So I've been trying to sort of like keep them happy, and that seems to keep it quite docile.
That can't always happen. People need to get their emotions out in a healthy way, and if you keep them happy all the time, they're gonna flip the other side, and it's not gonna be good for you.
I mean,
And
how
what
did
the-
you
Let us help you.
The little goblin lad like looks up at you, Vanya, and he's obviously just up to your belly button. But he's bold as brass, and he just kind of goes like, "Have you tried to give therapy to a monster? I don't think this is the time or the place."
Oh no, I'm not giving any therapy. I'm planning to take down your monster for you.
He kind of. I guess that's the best way to go about it, but I mean, I
You
don't.
can't kidnap you all. It's just not right. Your
guess-
families are sick and worried.
I guess so. I've only got my little brother.
And he is the one who got us here.
I always told him. I always told him if he needed anyone, he gets adventurers. He gets explorers. So
It's us.
I'm glad. Well, I mean, it's been a while since it's gone, but maybe we can. Are you going to take us back? I mean, we could probably make a break for it now.
Oh, I mean, if you say it only takes children, we are also looking for an adult. The mayor? Alfred would like to save at least one mare.
He sort of squints and he goes, "No, the mayor's not here. Like, I know he went missing, but the mayor's not here."
GM.
Yes.
Presumably, we are looking around, like, we're at the front of this cave, right? And there's snow, so there's going to be footprints and tracks and the like. So,
Yeah.
I assume there's going to be little pitter-patter footsteps from the kids and slightly
Yes.
larger footprints from the teenage goblin.
Yes.
Are there... So I can I can make a spellcast roll to track or ask the GM one question I'd be able to learn about a specific creature or group of creatures based on signs of their passage.
Oh.
So, are there any like tracks of, the monster? Air quotes.
As the others are having this conversation with this little goblin,
Yeah.
You are sort of scanning around looking for tracks. You know that like that's probably like you're just like, all right, we have been told that there is a monster around here. I'm gonna see what kind of animal this is.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
me, fellow children.
You can see some fairly fresh tracks of the children and of Mako as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can see some other sort of large indents in the snow that have been slightly covered up from sort of like the freshly falling snow that's sort of gradually going as you've been walking.
Yep.
But the tracks are still slightly visible. So it's been a while since the monster's been there. Probably you can sort of gauge with the amount of snow that's been falling. Probably a few hours. But
would you like the spell roll to find out if my investigation bites me in the arse or not?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is plus. You know what? You know what? Somewhere between my experiences as a nomadic survivalist and explorer hired navigator, I would argue, like looking around, I'm gonna, if you're happy for me to spend another hope to add another 2 to this, so this is plus 5. And I think, I think there was one last thing. In addition, when you make a spellcast roll while within the natural environment, you spend a hope before the roll to add +1 to result. Yeah. Not even bothered.
Oh, that's a crit.
2 crits, 1 game. Nice. We know everything about the creature now.
Yeah.
We know what it is, who it is, what his name is.
It's blood
Yeah.
type. It's social
Address.
security number.
You, from these tracks, it's definitely not a creature you've met before.
I know everything about nothing.
But from the depth of the, I would say from that crit roll, from the depth of the tracks that they are from the falling snow, from how long it is, you can definitely tell that it's been at least about 2 hours that these tracks were last made.
Okay.
You could probably even tell like the height of this creature as well. And we're looking at sort of like a good, you're thinking like 9.5, 10 foot.
Whoa-wee!
But you can definitely tell it's also the fact that you can tell that it's something that doesn't run on all fours, almost sort of walks on its back feet, but then lollops on like knuckles.
Okay, so we're looking for a big bugger. Real big. Real big. And he stumbles around like me after in the dark when I've had a few too many moonies.
Like some sort of ape?
Well, I wouldn't really call myself an ape, Vanier, but maybe.
Lovely. Good to know. As like I'm eyeing up the knife in my pocket.
Can I have a quick chat with the kids
Tasty.
to make sure they're all right?
Yeah, you can have a quick chat with the kids.
I just get in the middle of them. I just be like, "You right, guys? Having fun? You cold?"
You just come out here. Riri, I just want you. Oh, I'm going to move you sort of. I don't have tokens for the kids, unfortunately, but I'll pop you into the middle of the kids. The kids sort of like it's quite obvious that they've probably not met an ignorant sprite before. They are mesmerized by the fact they've probably met sprites before, but not an ignorant sprite before, and they're quite like really impressed by the fact that your sort of whole body seems to be glowing with heat, and they're just like, wow, wow, yeah, we're fine. Wow, who are you? Where did you come from?
Oh, my name's Riri, and I just came from your village, actually.
Wow, are you gonna take us home?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Oh wow! And they sort of look over as well at the rest of you, and they see Alfric, and they're like, Dragon Man, Dragon Man.
We've got Dragon Man. We've got like Wolf Boy,
Wolf Boy.
and we've got and we've got our little friend there. He's new. We don't really know much about him. Just try not to speak to him, because he will keep talking.
While you're having a conversation with these kids, you then suddenly start hearing some stomping coming from above the cave. Some very sort of large, sort of like, like something is running in haste, but is a large creature. As the four of you look up, so the goblin boy sort of turns to you and like it's just kind of going like just keep talking, just like really entertain the kids. I can hear it's coming. As this doop hold. As you notice, hold. As above the cave, you notice this giant, hairy, ape-like creature
Vanya,
sort of appears.
Oh no.
But he hasn't shaved.
Yeah.
Appears above the cave. It screeches. It sort of stops at a halt, and you can see like the heavy breathing from its mouth just sort of permeate out and sort of cause like mist to go up into the air. But it doesn't look like it's looking down at the four of you. Actually, it's looking down at Vanya, Alfric, and Genbrick. It's not so much keeping an eye on Rayri, but it's looking down at the three of you.
I think Alfred's got a question.
Is it Mako? Mako. It's like, get the kids, like laughing. Can Alfric pull out his violin?
Yep.
And can he play for them an epic song, which also has the benefit of making a nearby creature vulnerable?
Oh, sure.
So it makes them temporarily vulnerable, and he's going to do that to the thing that is staring at us.
Okay.
Do you have the benefit
or anything, or it just automatically happens, or it's a token that you spend?
It automatically happens.
Okay. So, describe how this looks.
So he gets out his little violin, and he starts sort of desperately playing. Like, I imagine it's like a jig.
Okay.
Like a very like and he's trying to get the kids like laughing. And I imagine like the way that the sound sort of bounces around the cave is painful from a certain distance, which is how it makes the creature vulnerable.
I'll step in there and actually say the children are definitely enjoying it. They don't seem too scared about the monster. And as you start playing this sort of like really hype jig, they're just like loving it. They've just seen this like bright blue dragon man just come along and then whack out a fiddle and start playing music, and they are loving it. And as the children are laughing and giggling and clapping their hands, like, the monster just, like, sits down and just seems to also be enjoying it.
I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I think that's you know, gesturing at the 9-foot shape that stumbles around like Gembrick when drunk. I think what have you? Okay, so that seems to be working. So if we just round these kiddos up and then we go back to the village and Alfred, if you just keep playing
Forever?
well, no, don't be silly. Just until he falls asleep or something. I'm sure this is a foolproof plan.
The problem is, nothing can just pick up the kids again. Some later point, I think we need to deal with it. As there's like a slight menacing grin coming from Vanya's face, unknowingly.
Oh, but look at him. He looks so peaceful and furry.
Yeah, the monster's just sort of standing there, lad.
Mirroring. Identical gormless smiles.
Without turning, like, because Vanya's gaze is on this creature, but speaking towards Alfred, it's like, see if you can converse with the creature first, before I tuck in.
Me?
Yes, you're the total of this group, right?
You seem like a real people person.
Play at the same time?
You do you.
He sort of steps out in front of the creature.
Like, there's two people that can talk to animals here, and it's just like Alfred. Alfred can talk to the big monkey.
Hello. Desperately filling.
Hearing sort of like the hello, the monster's not paying much attention. He's already looking at you, like he's already staring at you, but it seems fairly just content, just listening to the music, and he sort of looks at you, looks back to the children, sees that they're enjoying themselves, and then looks back at you and goes,
It's working, keep going.
How does one talk to a monster?
"Oh my god!"
You monster! You do not kidnap kids!
The monster sort of like switches its gaze at you, Vanya, and it just kind of goes like that. As you say that, it will jump down.
Throw its shit at you.
Throw its shit at you. It will bounce down and get in the way between the three of you and Rayri and the children. So Rayri is standing with the children behind this monster while the three of you are there.
Because I am a child.
As you can see, this creature sort of like it's conflicted in a way, because it's very frustrated that it's been interrupted from this music that it's obviously enjoying. Alfric, are you still playing?
Desperately.
Festive!
Because of the music that's playing around and the distraction from this monster, it suddenly then sort of raises its head and gutturally growls slightly, but it's not looking in your direction. It is looking behind you, as Izaz, 2 wolves, and a couple of brained little ice creatures walking in front of them. have appeared behind you.
Whoa, the consequences of our actions.
Izaz like says, I did tell you it was dangerous out here. And he is going to start a fight. So Dan, if you've got fighty music.
Fighty music.
Fighty music. So
Gyarados,
do-
no.
do bear with me because I don't know.
I feel
This is
like Vanya would be slightly disappointed that he has to fight the humanoid.
He can always eat an ice creature.
I could make a slushy.
Yeah.
You can make yourself a new fur coat. Got some wolfies.
Got some wolfies. So, with this, I am going to spend. I'm going to spend a fear and go first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll. What do I roll? I'm going to roll D6. I don't want you. I want to get everyone here. There we go. And sorry, do bear with me. I'm trying to get rid of my fear. There we go. I'm going to spend a fear. I didn't want to roll as the monster. Anyway, I haven't rolled as the monster. I've rolled as Izaz, and he is going to 5 more of these. You can see jutting.
You
From-
son of a bitch.
Jutting from the ice around you. 5 more of these little ice minions grow up from the ground and start sort of
Dislike.
gathering around. And ever who would like to go next? Which is your go. We are now into the action tracker that no longer exists.
Do we get the sense from this scenario that it's, even though we've got this giant creature next to us, he's not the one posing the threat to us? It's obviously this Izaz guy
These
looking like intent on fighting us.
he definitely looks like he's intending to get into to stop you in some sort of way. The monster is backing up and looking after the children.
Okay, got you.
And me.
And Riri.
If we don't mind, I would like to jump in first.
Okay, yep.
Why are you coming over here and being a doofus? What are these? I say, gesturing wildly to the ice golems. Oh, bye, Daisy.
I'm just sorry that you've had to get involved in this.
I knew you were wrong, and ever since you didn't say thank you for those gifts what I gave you.
Hang on, he did.
Oh, I forgot. I did not notice. And
Wasn't sincere enough.
Yeah, wasn't enough. Didn't grovel enough.
and I will just stand back, everyone. I say, and I dramatically gesture for everyone to move back, and Gembrick topples over forward and then lands on his hands and knees.
And praise for mercy.
And oh wait, that usually does. It usually doesn't. Wait. There we go. And Gembrick will transform into a spike-shelled turtle. And then look at this horde of icy creatures and weirdly can still talk and wait, and like the turtle shakes and vibrates and then catches fire. I'm marking 2 stress to adopt a beast form and invoke an elemental incarnation fire.
Nice.
Why don't you come over here and say thank you? He says, realizing he's kind of screwed up his things. But yes, that's. I don't know if that's. I'm just gonna wait.
Okay. Okay.
Then, unless anyone else wants to go.
Like Ravy's just trying to look round the big ape that's trying to keep her. I want to go, give up.
Yeah. If no one's got anything pressing, I'll go next. In which case, what's the best position? I think about there. Yeah. So Vanier is going to move forward.
Mhm.
If I can move my token, that is. How come I can't move it?
Where do you want to go?
I want to go here.
Okay.
Seeing this like ill intent towards us, I just look at the wolves, in this sort of like trying to meet them at their gaze, but also acting slightly alpha in this situation. Like, if you do not want to get hurt, stay out of the way. And I just spin with an arc with my gauntlet as I hit one of these icy creatures and spend a hope to do a whirlwind attack to attack everything within 10 feet of me.
Okay. So that would probably include like these 4 or these 5.
So it would include that animated ice over there, on the far left.
Mhm.
5. Essentially that, because that's 10 feet away as well.
Yep.
And Izaz, I'm purposely not attacking the wolf because of just because Vanier has a bit of a connection to wolves. He ideally doesn't want to hurt them unless they attack. But
No,
he's definitely getting Izaz and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 animated ice creatures attacking the one, but they will all take half damage if I hit this one in front of me.
Okay.
So yeah, let me just do the attack roll first. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Let me just. Should I? No, I'm not gonna spend a thing. I'll just roll as I need. This is gonna be a +3 to the attack.
Get him.
So that's 13, 16 to hit the animated ice in front of me.
16 with fear. So yep, you definitely hit that.
16 with fear. So that one. So 2d10 +3. Just bear with me. 2d. That's a d10. 2d10 +3. So that is a total of 12 points of magical damage.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm spending a hope to cast Whirlwind, on a success you may spend a hope to use that roll against every other enemy within range. Any additional enemies you succeed against with this. Okay, so they take half. So basically,
that one was rolled with fear.
Yeah, and
you spent a hope. Yeah.
Sorry, I spent a hope.
Cool.
So I'm down to 3 hope. Does So assuming that my 16 also hits the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animated ice within 10 feet of me.
Yes. So
Which means they take 6 points of magical damage.
Mhm.
Because they take half from the whirlwind. And also Izaz if my 16 hits his
your 16
evasion.
doesn't hit his evasion.
16 doesn't. Okay, so he doesn't get it, but these other 5 take take the 6 points of magical damage. That's around me.
Yep. So as you charge into this crowd of these little ice elementals, and you bring your gauntlet round to sort of to whack through like the bunch of them while also trying to aim for Izaz. The elementals have sort of blocked your momentum with it, and Izaz is able to sort of move out of the way from your block, while the other ones take the damage and go out of existence.
And this one as well was in 10 feet.
And that one as well.
And yeah, I'm purposely not getting the wolf, but I did try and talk the wolves out of not fighting us as best as Vanya can with his
That's fair enough.
male dominance. But yeah, and I'm just looking at Izaz like, I'm ready for you, mate.
The wolves sort of look back at you as they've noticed that you're trying to impose this sort of alpha sort of energy towards them, but you can kind of tell that they already have an alpha that they are trusting in, and so are not listening to you.
Me.
Is it you?
It's me.
It's actually Ray.
It's clearly Ray.
Because you rolled with a fear, I'm going to jump in.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a fear to roll another d6. Bubble bomb. That's another 5. And
I get knocked down.
One.
And I get up again.
3, 4, 5 more of these elementals just sort of just like erupt out of
Keep doing that. Seems to be working.
sort of bump out of the ground. I'm also then going to spend, let me just do something here, blah blah blah. I'm also then going to spend another fear to take these 3 little elementals that are sort of surrounding you and
Explode.
I'm going to mark a stress for Izaz, and I'm going to make an attack against you, Vanya.
Is it just one attack? Or
It's-
all the attacks?
You will find out in a moment. So 3 of these little elementals are sort of around you, and they are going to make a group attack. Let's have a go with this. D20. And after sort of seeing what you did to their little brethren, they just kind of you can see them sort of hearing some sort of like order, but they're just sort of quivering a little bit of like,
Oh
and they're not going to do anything. What they try to do is they try to sort of grab hold of your legs, that you're sort of kind of get off. And have not been very successful in trying to grab you.
For real.
The wolves haven't seen you as an alpha, but the little ice men have.
Good enough.
Who would like to go next?
Alfric, seeing that possibly his frantic fiddling is not required anymore, will sort of turn in the direction of the new attackers And he will. Who would you say is in close range? Is anyone in close range of him?
No one is in
No.
close range. Well, the monster is.
Well, he's going to sort of. I think as he keeps playing, the tune's going to change slightly, and he's going to head out towards Vanier. I can't move him.
Oh.
Oh, I
Would you
think I
like to
know
go sort
why.
of here?
Everyone should now be
Little
able to move.
There you go.
Fab.
Thank you. Is it possible for me to get within close range of anyone?
Well, close range is 30 feet, right? Up to 30 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then yeah, you were definitely in close range. Well,
Yeah.
probably you are now. Definitely.
And he's going to cast Hypnotic Shimmer.
Ooh,
Oh.
tell me what that does.
So I make a spellcast roll against any enemies in front of me within close range. On a success, I create an illusion of flashing lights and colours that can temporarily stun any enemies I succeed against, dealing them a stress. While they are stunned, they can't move or act until the condition is cleared.
That's all of them.
I've got to succeed against them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll them bones then.
Please don't tell me you've got to roll for each one individually.
No, I will allow you to roll for the whole group. If you want to do that, you can roll individually if you want to.
I'll do the whole group.
How about
All-
this? How about
All or nothing.
Do a roll them and
I-
compare it against all of them. Separately.
Yeah.
So that is this one.
Rolled an 11. We've rolled a 12. Is there anything added to that?
3.
3. So that's making
15.
a total of 15. With a 15, you get the little animated elementals, and you also get the wolves, but you don't get Izaz.
Wait.
So
Wow.
it's
So is Alfred standing in the snow, just desperately like.
so they're all stunned at the moment.
Yes, they are now all stunned until the condition is cleared.
Right. Well then. But because you rolled with a fear, I get to go again. Izaz is looking at you, and he's fairly impressed with, like, obviously the work that you lot are doing, but he's not backing down. There's obviously like a massive determination from him here. He is. Have a little think. He is going to spend a fear. And he's going to roll another d6.
What?
And he's going to make 4 more little ice elementals that are sort of coming close to you, Alfric. So, just so I can keep it up to date, so all of these little ones over here are stunned, while these 4 down here are not. I'll also spend another fear. No, I don't actually spend a fear on that one. Oh no, I do. I mark the fear to make the move. I'm also going to spend another fear. For this little elemental here. To roll. So I've spent a fear, and this little elemental is going to look up at you, Alfric, and just kind of go lap. And then it just explodes in a shard of damage. It's going to do 10 points of damage.
Oof.
And that is the direct hit. That's a direct magic damage to you, Alfred.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
He goes.
That is major damage, I believe.
You can spend your armor slots.
Do you say it's 10?
10 damage, yeah.
So I would have to spend 4 to bring it down to minor?
Just one to bring it down to
Just
nine.
one to bring it
Just
down.
one. Oh, I will do that then. Yes. There we go.
Cool. And that is me done. Who would like to go next?
Yeah, and then. I would like to come out from behind. Can I? How is far? How far is far?
Far is up to 100 feet in it, I think. Let me. Far. Hold on. Let me just get it. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's between the range of 30 to 100 feet away.
Yeah, 12 squares, give or take.
Can I get round this bastard? If I come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, okay, I can get Elf. I can get Izaz from there. Okay, I am going to what would be better? It's up there. I would like to make a spellcast roll, please, and I want to use my corrosive projectile.
Okay.
But, let's roll.
Oh, that is a
super
crit.
crit.
That is an automatic. That's yeah. Well, that will hit him even if it's not an automatic.
So when I make a crit in Daggerheart, is it?
It's the full
The
damage
most-
you would get. It'll be the full damage that you would get from your damage dice, and then you roll again for the damage as well.
Okay, so he's gonna get.
You also clear a stress, if you had any, and you gain your hope.
So
Okay.
I've put you up to 4.
Fab. Do I? Okay, yeah. So that's going to be 12, 13, 14. It's going to be 16 damage off the bat,
Okay.
and that's magic spellcast magic damage.
Mhm.
What was it?
Yeah,
Whatever
so it'll be, if it's a spell, then it's probably magic damage.
magic damage. His
Is it 16 plus your dice rolls?
Yes, I have to do my dice rolls as well.
Yeah.
You also get your difficulty is reduced by 1.
Okay.
If that means
Okay.
anything to
Yep,
anyone.
that means yeah.
Something to you. Fabulous. And then it's 2d6 plus.
Is that to one target or AoE?
That's to 1 target.
Oh, you got messed up.
Plus another 9 damage.
Anyone better at maths than me?
16 plus 9, 25.
25.
25 damage, and your difficulty goes down. So yeah, it's I've kind of redone it as a more of a kind of sticky. So what she does is she just kind of sneaks out from behind the monkey,
Yeah.
and she just sees the Lizaz. She just gives him the eye, and she just kind of, because she's got all this lava hair, she just kind of pulls a bit of like sort of lavary goop out of her head, and just just chucks it at him. And it's all just like a sticky, corrosive, like just hits him in the face, and it's just like.
With a crit, Izzaz is very much sort of like you can tell that he's really focusing most of his attention on creating these ice elementals to do whatever to your friends. So he doesn't notice this incoming projectile that just sort of smacks him right in the face. Probably from the amount of ice elementals that he's creating, you can tell that fire is probably not his friend, something hot. And he really struggles to sort of like get this sort of sticky stuff off his face while he's sort of ripping it sort of like and growling sort of loudly to sort of pull it from his face, as you can notice that his face is sort of burning away from this heat, from this lava that's now on his face. And he is now very intent in making this really bad for you. As you've stepped beside the monster, you can see the monster sort of look down at you as you've done this, like, and it kind of puts like puts a massive hand out as it tries to almost kind of go like, and try to sort of push you back towards the children.
That's why I didn't want to go all the way in front of him, because I felt like he was going to try and keep me in. I'm like, no, I got him! I got him!
The monster just kind of goes like, he can't really understand what you're saying. He's just like,
Sorry! God!
Who would like to go next?
I'd like to jump in as Vanier is slowly disappearing beneath a wall of ice elementals. As Ravi kind of throws a globule, adopting this defensive turtle form, I've then realised that no one has run towards us. So, with like a shrug of the front legs of this turtle, the turtle rears up, and the spiked scales of its shell that are on fire begin to sort of like detach as I transform back into Gembrick. But the flaming scales then sort of like morph into little motes of fire. Turning back, there we go. And holding all of these floating motes, I would then like to make a spellcast roll against any close enemies, which I think we have acknowledged is basically everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And spellcast roll, so that's +3 for me. I'm gonna go ahead and roll some dice. So a 13 with fear.
13 with fear. 13 with fear. With that, you can obviously tell that this damage has it's caused the damage to the ice elementals, because you don't even need to roll for it, because they just go.
Well, what I will say is I'll need to spend a hope as I launch these flaming motes forward, and they look like fireflies for a brief moment as they like impact into each of the elementals in turn.
They go pa 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 pa.
Druid's OP.
The Izzaz is so busy sort of like trying to sort of get this lava off his face that he unintentionally sort of avoids your attack, but the two wolves that are sort of standing beside him are hit if you want to roll for damage.
So that is 2d8 plus 3. Boop, 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 boop. Bam. That's a juicy 14.
Juicy 14. So the two wolves yelp as you smack them with a like? Is it like a fire attack sort of?
Yeah.
Like,
So
explain
yeah,
it for me.
basically the scales have transmorphed into like flaming like orbs that look a bit like fireflies, and then Gembrick's like launched them forward, hands out, stretched, and they've just like homed in and hit all the elementals, hitting the two wolves. Gembrick will like cringe slightly because he didn't intend to hit the wolves. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, he says, and he'll kind of scuttle forward towards to stand alongside Vanier. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The fur will grow back.
As you're saying this, going, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. These wolves are looking not good. They are massively singed with still elements of their fur still on fire, as they are just shaking to stay up on their legs.
But yeah, that's me done.
Seeing this attack, like the wolves now seeing all of the elementals that are gone, they are also going to make an attack. So, spend a fear. Bomb. They are. What are the wolves going to do? This wolf is going to come up you, Gembrick, and
I'm sorry. It was an accident. It wasn't.
come on. As it's sort of kind of in a last final sort of strike against this attacker that's sort of gone for them, they hobble over to you and try to just sort of lash out with you with their jaws, but the amount of obvious pain that they're in have made it easier for you to sort of dodge out of the way.
Boop it on the snoot. No!
And it sort of yelps again. Oh! Like that. I am going to also spend another fear. As these wolves have I've started to sort of like yelp and whine, from behind the monster, one of the children starts going, and the monster starts becoming enraged.
Oh, yeah.
The monster would like to rage.
And it's looking straight at you again, Brett. You'd like to go next?
No,
I mean,
just you wait there a minute.
I would like to go, please, if that's okay.
Yep.
And I just take a step towards Isaz. Just going to just walk up, not run in, but just looking very annoyed. He is going to just punch him in the face. I'm just looking at, do I want to? You can fire through a single target. I might save that just in case we have to deal with big gun. So yeah, I'm just gonna make an attack against this dude. So that's 14 plus 3, 17 to hit.
17 doesn't hit. As you just, as he's finally got all of this like muck out of his face, and you can see those dark burning marks within his skin, you sort of lash out with your gauntlet again, but he is able to sort of like blockade it with his staff as he just catches you just about to knock him.
Yeah, so as that glances off, I'm adding my hope that I would have gained into my other Slayer die.
Cool.
But yeah, I just look at the wolves side by side to me saying, "You better run." But yeah, I'm gunning for this dude in front of me, making his life difficult.
Izaz can see that you're trying to commune with his wolves, and he sort of looks at you and he says, "You should know, as a fellow wolfkin, that the pack never stands down."
That is fine. I'll be taking your head first then.
So violent.
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Who would like to go next?
Alfric's on tickle duty to make the kids laugh again.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
If I
kid
can
is.
get round the monkey, I can do something to entertain the child.
Yeah, while one of
If
the
you would
kids is
like.
crying, like another one sort of kind of starts sniffling. You know how like kids, like when one starts crying, like they all start crying.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can see the other ones kind of going like.
Do you want to go, Elfric? Or if not, I can.
He is just working out what to do, so you go first.
Okay. I would like to spend a hope, please.
Mhm.
And you don't have to put it into Foundry. I'm going to summon my little familiar, which is my little ball of like little flame that I can take out of my space. It just lives inside one of Ravi's space buns. She just opens it up and she takes it out. And because I spent a hope, I just and it can fly. And she gets it to just kind of it can perform simple tasks for a spellcast roll. So its simple task is going to be just dancing around the children.
Okay.
Please.
To floss.
Just do that. So spellcast roll. Okay. It's a 17, 18, 19, 20.
20.
That's 20 for entertaining Firefly. Does
With-
that hit?
Yes, that like as soon as this like little ball of just like magma starts sort of like flying around and starts doing like a little wavy dance, like little flames, kind of, like suddenly the child that was crying is just like and like all of them are just entranced by this like like that. And as the crying sort of stops down and there's like some small giggling and gasps of awe, like the monster sort of looks back and it sort of calms down and it sort of comes out of its almost rage state. With a fear, I am going to spend one of my fears and is as in after your attempt to sort of whack him, Vanya, he is also going to come at you with his staff. La, 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 la. Where are you? There you are.
Oh, Nate.
I just dodge my head.
Yeah.
to the
Oh,
side.
buddy.
Yeah. with the sort of burning on his face, he can't see properly. Like you can see that, like it doesn't look like his eyeballs are melting, but maybe his eyeballs are melting. You're not completely sure, but he sort of flails his staff like wildly to try and get at you. But you obviously are quick enough to dodge it. But that is his go. Who would like to go next?
Well, I think Alfric, seeing this display of old man in distress, he's going to cast Arcane Barrage, which is automatic hits. 3. He will. How much hope? that will hit once. That's a 1d6. Where's my d6? There it is. For 1 damage.
1 damage.
It's really cold, all right, and like we've lost all sensation in our fingers.
I just had an ice thing explode on me. It's anxiety, alright?
Do enough, do minor damage, right?
Does the minor damage. As you do this, what does it look like, Alfric? How does this attack look?
He's still got his violin, so he does like this single piercing note and like a little stave that comes out like a little musical thing, and it smacks him in the face as it flies across the space between them.
As Izaz is in a state of rage, trying to sort of flail his staff at Vanier, this small little stave just sort of comes in, smacks him in the face, and it's obvious that like that does something to the burns that he's already been subjected to. He tries his best to sort of wade it off, but the pain is obviously so much as he sort of falls to the ground on his knees. The wolves notice that their leader has fallen, as he's barely sort of just rasping for air, and they sort of make their way over to him, and they surround him, fully, despite the fact that they are also heavily damaged, are prepared to fight to the very last tooth to protect this man, this wolfkin.
I would like to jump in.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. As they have bunched up, I will, because I'm going to get some... Dan is getting some usage out of this. I'm going to spend another stress to re-transform into a turtle.
Yeah.
I will spend another stress to reset myself on fire. And then, with remarkable speed, I'm going to yell at Vanier, "Toss me!" And I'm going to leap towards your arms, and armoured sentinels can be thrown akin to a cannonball. So I will mark a third stress to be thrown like a cannonball. And I note that Vanier has 3 hope.
So you want me to do a tag team, is that right?
I would love for you to tag team with me whilst you hurl me, boom, like heads and legs into the shell, and you launch me like a Koopa shell, a Mario grey blue shell, at this druid.
Yes, I will. I will spend that free hope.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so because I know you like rolling dice, Dan, I'll let you do it, because the ally gets to make an attack roll using their agility or strength against a target in close range. And throw me at his forehead.
The good thing is, because I'm tag teaming, we can both roll.
Well, I mean, you get to roll twice, because you make my attack roll for me.
Okay, fair.
Don't miss, please. I'll just go hurtling off into the distance.
Spending my free hope, I've got no more hope to spend to alter it. So for me, it is going to be a +3 to my roll. So let's give this again. Is it +3? Yeah, +3. And that's all I can do. So yeah, let's roll this twice. Boom. 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's come on, give us some better rolls. 13.
I sense a Team Rocket is blasting off again moment.
I can't believe that. My rolls have been poor.
Is there a way I can assist with levitation? Is there a way I can put you back on course?
How many?
In,
I was going to say
situation.
you haven't got enough hope. Can you triple tag team? No, that's fine. I get what. So for me, it's your agility or strength, but your strength is what, +3?
Yeah, +3. So basically, none of them are gonna hit. I assume, because it's either going with a 15 with fear or a 13 with hope.
Let's go 13 with hope.
Yeah.
13 with hope.
So, yeah.
So with a 13 with hope, it will hit as the wolves are sort of guarding Izaz. It will hit them, but not him.
Okay. If we're happy to take that, Mr. Dan, Mr. PC Dan.
They want to die for their cause anyway. They might as well just...
Okay, I'm happy to do a bonk, because I can then spend a further hope, taking me down to 1. So tell you what, Dan. I'll roll my damage. Your proficiency is 2.
Yeah, I got a proficiency of 2.
So I do a hearty 2d12 plus 2 damage to the noggin. Dunk! That's 13 damage, but I can spend...
Mine?
Yeah, plus yours. And then if there is another enemy very close to the target, yes, on a success, you can spend a hope to ricochet off the first enemy and hit the second for half damage.
Ah,
That's a 19 for the magical damage from me for my tag team on this. So total,
So
those
that's
two together.
32 damage to the first wolf, Nate.
Yeah.
And then I would like to ricochet off the wolf's noggin into Izaz.
Well,
So
you
is
didn't
that-
get him. You didn't get him.
No,
with
but-
no, so
with
this
the
is the...
I can
Okay.
then spend a hope to ricochet onto another target.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
For half damage, but that'll only be half of my
Yeah,
damage.
16.
So,
So 6.
so 6.
So 6.
Oh wait, does my damage not include in that tag team roll then?
I'm not gonna
As
put.
part
I'm
of the
not gonna
whole
push it.
ability. Oh.
Well, let's just say with that sort of ricochet of this. Well, explain this again, Dan. How do you see this happening?
Well, what Vanier sprinkle is Vanier putting on this tag team? So, for reference, I am a flaming
dog.
shell.
Imagine the icy winds almost adding fuel to the flames as he full on like discus the shell.
Okay.
So you got extra wind power powering the flames up.
In the most Mario Brothers RPG style, like anime lines as this as me in my shell getting horrendously dizzy and nauseous inside. There's a donk as I bounce off the wolf and then up into Izaz's like chin. The wolf absorbs the majority of the kinetic force, and I presume under 32 points of damage, all but it implodes. But then just dunk, off his face.
Is that just the one wolf, or is it both wolves?
Just the one.
Just the one
Yeah.
wolves.
So it is a single target attack, but then I can splash onto a second.
Fair enough. This one wolf that took the brunt of the damage literally just falls limp into the snow.
Sorry.
While Izaz takes this dunk right into the chin, falls back into the snow, unconscious as well. The other wolf sort of backs away from seeing this, sort of backs away and sort of whimpers and cowers as it's seeing its two fallen packmates just lie there, unconscious, maybe not even alive anymore.
Go back to your children.
As as you can see, Izza makes sort of like his final breath as he sort of slumps down into the snow. You notice this bright blue light sort of emanate from the sky as you look up and notice the moon has gone bright blue, much like the tale you heard from a fair few months back of this brilliant bright blue moon that was helping lost people find their way. You sort of looking up at the moon, and then you sort of hear this like as you turn back to this noise, and you see the monster sort of tangling with itself. It's contorting and flexing and not completely sure what it's kind of doing. As you can gradually see its form going smaller, less hairy, less ape-looking. As the ape sort of falls to its knees and starts turning into a fully buck-naked Ace of Our man in the snow, and all he's wearing is sort of like a blue crystal that sort of froms a little bit with this blue sort of magic, this mana, and then dies as he's just sort of slumps into the snow.
Raven tries to hide as many children's eyes as possible.
You can still see him breathing. He's like, you can hear this like very heavy breathing from him. So he's still alive. He's just obviously exhausted.
So that crystal, is it on him? Did it come off him?
It's on him. You can see it round his neck.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna Raven's just gonna take off. Oh, she's wearing a neckerchief. She just takes off her bandana and just kind of places it over his area.
His Yule log.
To kind of give him a little bit. Just kind of flops it over.
Mako sort of wanders over, like the kids are like still like a little bit bamboozled about what's happening, but Mako sort of comes over, bends down and sort of looks down at the Ace of Our man, and he's just like,
"Don't tell me it's the mayor."
He nods like.
Is it possible
It's
to
always
take
the mayor.
crystal necklace off of him?
Yeah, he's just lying there on the ground.
just
I know it.
Spaniard puts it on and then turns into a massive monkey. Ow!
No, Vanya basically just takes it off him and with his gauntlets just crushes it in his hands because he assumes that the crystal had something to do with his changing of his shape.
Expensive! What is that? Bloody hell.
The Gembrick?
Well, thing is, I have referenced that my show is spiky, so I kind of have to commit to that. So I feel like I'm actually embedded in Izaz's like upper torso neck area, just like spikes in, so the arms and head have come back out. And can we do it? What's happening? Because I can't. Because I'd also be belly up to the sky, wouldn't I, if he's on his back? So I'm just. What's happening? What?
I'll perfect for a run and help him. I think he's the closest.
I can only imagine the most awful noise as you pull this spike shell out of the druid's form. Where's his ass? Did we get him?
I think so.
I wobble around and who's the naked guy?
It's the mayor.
What? Why is he naked?
I don't know. Just say this. Vinny's just licking his mouth. bite of his as he's like passed out, just licking the mayor's open mouth, just up his nostrils. Hopefully he'll wake up. I'll just shake him a little bit. Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor!
He,
Mr. Mayor!
you can see his eyes sort of flutter a little bit until he just goes, bloody... Where am I? Who are you?
You're in the mountains. You're naked.
Oh, he starts just shaking, just like very,
this
very
isn't a
cold.
nightmare. This is real.
Oh
I
no.
I will walk over because it's dawned on me that I'm basically a walking campfire, aren't I? If I'm a spiky shell turtle on fire, so I'll just plump, like head over, plonk down next to naked man, the kids. Yeah, in the hopes that it'll stop shivering. I'll make sure Alfred gets some of the action as well.
As you can see, Mayor, kids right behind you, so watch where your ass is pointing.
I'm not worried about his ass.
Yeah, he's just like covering up most what he can, and sort of, thank you. This is I'm not really sure.
Well, did you like put on like a sort of like a necklace, like a crystal, anything recently? Something like that.
I mean, yes, Izaz gave me one. And he sort of looks over and sees Izaz's body over, and he's like, "Oh,
we found him like that."
Oh no, what happened to him?
You were turned into some creature from this necklace, capturing the children in some sort of ape form.
Oh,
And Izaz was trying to stop us from rescuing the kids.
oh,
And I think he tripped over and landed on a spiky creature of some kind.
oh! What a
Had his face melted off.
oh
What
my
a
goodness.
terrible accident.
What an awful fate.
By the way, to clear our credentials, we were sent here as we are explorers of elsewhere. You see.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, I was. The thing is that we were having problems with wolves coming in and stealing chickens. You see, and I went to Izaz to try and resolve the issue. Like, he's not been on the best terms with us because he does believe that we've taken over the land and taken over the resources, and we've tried our best to to plant new trees and to keep our distance from the wolves and so forth, but we've never meant to hurt any of them. But I went to him to see if there was anything we could do to come to an agreement. We've all got to live in this world. And he gave me that necklace as an offering, and then I do apologize, but my mind has gone pretty blank after that.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about those agreements anymore.
Okay, if you say so. Have you did you speak to him before he perished?
We did. He was a bit rude. He didn't really appreciate the gifts that we gave him. To be honest, he's been an asshole.
Oh, yes. I mean, he was a bit. He was a bit to me. But look, let's. Oh, and he looks up at the moon, this bright blue moon. He's like, oh, is it the winter moon festivities already? We should get back. We should get back immediately. Come on, children. Let's go.
Yes.
We should probably find you some clothes as well.
Oh, yes.
You can take Izar's.
Oh, yes,
He's not using them anymore.
Yeah.
Don't mind the blood. It'll wash right out.
And as Mako sort of helps you sort of take off Izaz's clothes to leave this hulking naked wolfkin druid
With a
just
crushing neck.
with a crushed neck, this dead wolf next to him.
No. I'm taking the wolf with me back.
Oh, you're taking the wolf with you. Okay. The other wolf has limped off while you were busy, and
Sorry.
you can't see this wolf anymore. All of you make haste to sort of get out of the snow and return back to the village where
Pile as many small children onto Vinny as possible. Just kind of-
and they are loving it.
I've got more stress. I will change my form and stop being on fire, and I will become a mighty strider.
Sorry.
Which will allow me to carry up to 2 willing allies.
How many children is 2 willing allies?
What if I carry some children and then
Everyone
Does that-
takes a couple
You-
of children.
Yeah.
Everyone takes a couple of
There's me with a
I'm
wolf.
going to transform into a goat.
Fantastic. As the children think that this is like the best rescue ever, they've been rescued by explorers. They're now traveling on a big chihuahua and a goat, and a dragon man is carrying them, and this big wolfkin man has saved them, and this weird little goblin was there and now he's gone and turned into a goat, and the mayor is now back and he's naked, and that's funny as hell. We all wander back to the village where a big reception has welcomed you back as you've rescued the children and rescued the mayor as well. Congratulations, everyone.
We
Always
did
the
it.
mayor.
You did it.
Always the mayor.
Mako's little baby brother happy again.
Milo is very happy.
Alfred got to save a mare?
And Alfred got to save a mare.
Save, but also it was all his fault in the first place. So is it really safe? One day we'll meet a competent mayor.
Today is not that
Not
day.
that day. Not that
So,
day.
Thank you, everyone. I realise it's late now, but thank
No,
you so
thank
much for
you.
playing
No,
and
thank
allowing
you.
me to have a go. Thank you, Dan, for allowing me to have a go at GMing, and I hope you had fun.
Yes, I did. And I'm positive that everyone thinks that Gembrick is a tip-top character.
And
Oh,
I'm sure
I can't wait to play with him again.
I'm sure he will never return in campaign 3.
I'm sure he will never once again grace our screens.
No, please no.
Dan, shall I do some outro stuff?
Yeah,
Or would you
go
like to
on.
do some outro
Let's put on the awesome outro music.
Awesome outro music.
It's loading.
There we go. So if you have liked this adventure and you wish for Dan to step down and for me forever to be your forever GM again, then you've got to comment down below and tell him that much. But if you want to say like, no, Nate, bugger off, then obviously you could also comment that as well. If you have liked this episode, you can you can leave a comment, you can hit the notification bell. This, I believe, is going out fairly soon. So if you're not watching this live, there is also a Pick Me is coming up very soon. There's another episode of Pick Me where Chris, who you know from the channel, is also playing, along with myself and with Livy and a new player who you will find out soon. And also we have the grand finale of campaign 2, Elysia Rising, which you do not want to miss, which will be coming out in a couple of weekends time, just before the end of the year. But with that all being said and done, we hope you have, from all 5 of us, we hope you have like a very wonderful festive time, whatever you're doing, and have a wonderful end of the year. And we will see you all again soon. But until then, thank you, you 4. Thank you, everyone, for watching live.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you,
And-
Nate.
Bye-bye.
Here.
Boo, boo,
Maybe
boo, boo. Oh wait, it's broken.
Oh, now.